love you, mean it.
Oh, you're wearing the sweatshirt?
I wear it every week.
Oh,
but
you
sometimes
are.
You can't see it because I have my hair down, but you can really see it today.
Love you, mean it.
But I literally wear it every recording.
Oh, I'm so shitty for not noticing that. Thanks, Pia. Gotta get the merch out there. I am working on a whole new crop of merch, FYI, everybody, because the rebrand. So I realize I'm like the whole store needs to be redone. So I'm in the process of doing that. Hi everyone. Sorry, Pia and I just mid-sentence. Classic. Hi. Okay. We had a lot to cover. I know that part 3 came out. Miami. They did Miami dirty, by the way. They really did. Like, I didn't know they even aired part 2 of the reunion the day after part 1 because it was at a time slot we weren't even aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you said today, I haven't finished watching part 3, I was like, what?
Yeah, I was so confused. I started panicking because I was like, I didn't carve. Like, I woke up at 6 because I didn't watch Beverly Hills and I hadn't watched any of the Miami. So I was like, oh, I need to watch all 3 of these things. And then I saw that there was a third one. I was like, I was like, what?
Yeah,
what the fuck?
That was too much. That wasn't cool. So we're only going to do parts 1 and 2. So we'll do parts 1 and 2 of both Beverly Hills and Miami. And then since part 3 is next week, we'll just wrap that up there. I would like to start with Beverly Hills because Miami was just more joyful and fun. And
yeah,
Beverly Hills.
I agree.
I don't know. Beverly Hills was not my best. Okay. So I'm going off of my post just as reference. So like I said before we started recording, if there's anything else you want to cover, just let me know.
Okay.
How do we feel? Because I can't believe we haven't discussed this. How do we feel about the text message Kyle sent Dorit the day before filming? What is your stance on that? Did you also see Bethany talk shit about Dorit?
No, I honestly try not to listen to Bethany.
Believe me, I do too. I try as well.
No.
I try. So I think I got clickbaited into watching it, and I was like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. But yeah, she was like, I can't believe Dorit revealed a private message. Yeah.
That's her whole fucking job. Okay, anyway, she's such a dumb bitch. I
Yeah.
hate Bethany. I thought it was ballsy that Dorit revealed it because I didn't think she had it in her. I do think that the text message was manipulative because of the timing, and I wouldn't have had they been talking that whole time, right?
Yes, exactly.
If they had been talking the whole time, that text message to me would be like any text message that a friend would send.
Absolutely.
So I totally would have understood Kyle's doing that. But because crickets, they hadn't been talking, and then the first interaction we have is this long thing, which is pretty much coded in I love you, we'll be friends, so let's just not talk about anything, let's not. Pretty much I felt like she was creating an alliance, and she was already trying to make sure she had somebody on her team for if when things got turned up on her because she knew she was in the hot seat.
Yep.
And I didn't like that. But I was actually more taken aback that Dorit actually let us in on that.
Mm-hmm. And it started with Dorit on camera asking, "How are you and Mo?" And Kyle being like, we don't do that. And so when Kyle says, well, how do you think it felt to have you ask me on camera? I'm like, oh, we knew that was a problem. But that's from the beginning of filming. Yeah. So Dorit, I don't know what producer talked to Dorit ahead of time, but it's like, girl, you need to start stepping it the fuck up. Yeah. Because that alone was like, whoa, you guys never do that. Because rewatching the scene of her asking in the car, she's pretty relentless too. She doesn't get clearly what Kyle's trying to do, which is not give full details.
Right.
When she's like, I just needed a break. And Dorit's like, a break from your husband?
Yeah.
Okay. She's just not playing the game. So it kind of leaves me to think, well, then what's the point of having either Dorit or Kyle together anymore? I don't need to see the friendship because now I know it's not even real.
Right. And that was another problem for me, the constant contradiction of Kyle.
Yes.
Either you aren't really that good friends with Dorit, or you are, because you keep flip-flopping like Sheena whenever it's convenient for you. Like, that's what irritates me. Like, just pick a fucking lane. Like, we are not friends like that.
Yeah, that's
or
what
we
it
are.
was so confusing. Kyle kept thinking she could just say, you are a really good friend of mine and I care about you. And that would be the end of it. But it's like your actions don't depict that. And also just admit you're done with her after she brought up that shit on camera.
Right.
And clearly you
were
done
already
with
done
her
from
yeah.
And then that was like, that solidified it. You're like, she's dead to me. That was like the final stamp for like Dorit.
Yeah. Like she was already mad at the tiny little interjection. I'm glad that Sutton, this past episode, I think, or maybe it was the episode before, I can't remember.
It was this past one.
Right? Okay. When she was like, no, she was actually like not. She was, it wasn't bad what Dorit did. Kyle's so like appalled at it. And it's like, we genuinely all felt like she was just trying to help. You were the one stalemating it.
Yeah.
But
and
she
I actually
wanted a hug.
Right. This is the first, not the first time, but like, just so people know that like, I am open to criticizing everybody on this cast. I did not agree with Garcelle when she said, can't you, in that moment towards Dorit, can't you just say, I'm sorry? Because I don't think Dorit had anything to be sorry for in that particular situation. She has a lot of other things to be sorry for, but not that. So I was like, nah, Garcelle, I don't agree with that.
I actually, and this is probably a hot take, and I'm afraid to say it because I know that if I say something you don't agree with, your face changes and it makes me nervous. But
me?
Yes.
Shit.
I'm nervous to say this.
Now I'm nervous.
I really didn't enjoy Sutton. Ooh. This, and I also thought Garcelle was a little bit off. She kept looking towards Andy. She'd say something and then she'd look towards Andy for like validation on it. And I'm like, do you have some secret alliance with Andy? What are you doing? She got a little lost in the weeds.
Do you mean in both parts or a certain part?
Okay, so the part that I thought she got like thrown off on was the segment with Dorit about the word attacked.
Okay.
I thought she got a little thrown off. She started defining the word attack. I think what I'm also doing too is I'm remembering all the comments about Garcelle, like when she did bring it up originally, and the content I made that would receive nothing but Garcelle makes this all about race. It's like I was just like, the word attacked is not owned by Black people or whatever the fuck, like all of those troll comments.
Right.
I had that in my mind. And so when she started to define what an attack was, you know what an attack is. I'm like, no, okay, what we're forgetting is Dorit does microaggressions all the time and chooses to remain ignorant about it. So it doesn't, she knows what there could be a compilation of Dorit saying, you attacked me to everyone on the cast. And that's why I was like, this is going to put her in a weird spot. So I just wish, I wish she had just stayed kind of like on message about it. It doesn't matter. I just need you to educate yourself on why it matters for me when you say it to me.
Right. I don't disagree with you on that. I don't disagree with you. I wasn't mad.
No, I wasn't mad.
But I also thought that same thing too, because I do feel like Dorit probably has said that to many people on the cast, but that's not what
the point. Exactly. That's not the point.
The point is that word means something different when it is said, which I actually is funny enough. Erika, I hate when I have to.
I know.
I'm done with that bitch. But Erika actually she's actually really good at doing that. She summed up what Garcelle was feeling perfectly, where it's like that word means something different when you say it to her than when you say it to me. Period. It was a very clear way of communicating that. And I think sometimes Garcelle doesn't I think she's super smart and I love Garcelle, but I do think that Dorit triggers her a lot. So totally. I do think that that her like anger for Dorit sometimes gets her message lost, even though I completely agree with her message. So I'm with you that it wasn't the best. And then that dumb bitch, fucking Anna Marie chimed in.
Silly me for thinking she was going to chime in defense of Garcelle, saying, as a Black woman, I also understand the weight of words. Instead, it was when your friend said I was yelling, the only one who stuck up for me was Dorit.
Yeah, because you guys both had the same
agenda.
Like, don't think that I'm fucking stupid. You guys had the same agenda, and what you're doing right now, you pick me little bitch, is you're trying to team up with her right now because you know your ass is about to get dragged up and down this motherfucker.
Yes.
And don't think I don't know that. And don't you ever interject trying to downplay the fuck what Dorit's been doing for years. You just got here, honey.
You just got here. You actually don't know. This is one example, okay? One. There's been a lot.
I'm about to knock her goddamn rating down to 7.5 because she's stupid.
Yeah, no, I can't. I actually cannot with Anne Marie. That was when I felt so dumb for being like, oh my God, maybe she's going to redeem herself. And then, oh, never mind.
She's so irredeemable, like at this point for me. And I mean, I do feel really bad that we learned that she was going through something during this, but that like, I don't know, like I can't like not then, you know what I mean? She still did what she did.
Yeah, no, and she does, and she even this past episode, like the way when they asked about, we'll get to that because I have notes for the part 2 that are like more detailed. Another thing that was funny with the Kyle and Dorit interaction. So Kyle has sent this text message, right? And so she's assuming, which is crazy that she didn't even bother to check in with Dorit there when they got there. Like, are we cool? Nothing. But just assume. So how like tense for Kyle, right?
Right.
She's just like, we're going to not talk about it, right? We're going to not talk about it. And then Dorit brings it up.
Immediately.
Kyle's face changes in that moment. Andy thought he was going to, like she thought too, was going to give a segment of like, maybe them reconciling.
Right.
But when Dorit brought up that fucking text, her whole face changed. And then Andy was kind of like picking up where they already were going. He was like, maybe we can have some resolution. And she just goes, yeah. I'm like, oh, you're now done, Dorit. Just so we're clear, like there's no more friendship.
Yeah, done. Done.
The look she gave, the look she shot over. Another classic, amazing moment. This one Sutton did, like, I don't think, no notes here. The topic of Kyle saying she would date a woman. And Kyle's like, I don't know, I've changed so much. And maybe why wouldn't I? And Sutton goes, and none of us would judge you for that. We wouldn't care. There was like nothing Kyle could say. Not like Kyle was so gagged because what can you say? Like thanks, but I'm not. But so then that would be a denial of it. So she was just like, and then Andy goes, that's nice. And she goes, yeah, that's nice.
It's so funny. It's like, it feels like when you have a friend that you know is gay and you're just waiting for them to tell you. And you're like, I will be good with everything whenever you're ready. Like Sutton was really like, we are ready for your announcement. We will be supported.
We'll love you no matter what. She's like,
She's like, I'm not ready, Sutton. I have a whole spread of people
like,
waiting.
She didn't, I have a feeling, because like the teaser for the part 3 makes it seem like that's what we're going to get, is we're going to get the Kyle admitting to Morgan situation.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that would have leaked.
I
think you're more correct in that she's like, well, no, I have a whole plan. Like,
I think
PR
I think
rollout for this.
Yeah, because I feel like I've seen her on like some Amazon Lives, and I feel like she's still trying to like swat and like, but not directly answer anything. Because I feel like a huge announcement is planned. Like,
you're right about that. I think, she does. She just skirts away and is like, I don't know.
She's like, I already signed the rights to a certain person.
Like they have the exclusive.
Yeah.
Something that Kyle says to Dorit, which to me, this is where we pick up for this next episode. To me, all this proves is Kyle is so aware of what the audience says. And she's also traumatized, I think, from LVP, because LVP would do this as well. Pandering to the audience. She accuses Dorit of that. Now, I think Dorit is a lot of things. I don't fuck with Dorit, but I don't think Dorit genuinely pays attention to audience feedback. I genuinely don't.
I don't either.
I feel like to her detriment, maybe, but I don't think.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like she did. We would like her more.
Yeah, but because she willfully ignorant. She keeps posting the damn bubble. Oh my God, let's talk about that. When they bring up her doubling down, Dorit doubling down and saying proudly living in my bubble, Dorit cannot answer to save her fucking life. She's like, I was doing that. Crystal came to Garcelle's defense. She's like, I was doing that to explain myself, and Crystal just goes, oh. What? No, but she's like, didn't you do another post? Yes, to explain it.
I didn't even know she did a second one. So that was new information for me. Oh, you
didn't? Oh, the second one was like, no, she fucking didn't. She's like, I did it to explain it, but you didn't. You just said bubble again. You didn't explain it by saying, I'm going to work on educating myself on microaggressions or on whatever. Nope, it was just happily living in my bubble.
Like, girl, read
the way room. Andy was like, I don't know any other nice way of saying, shut the fuck up. So I'm going to say it in all these other ways. Because he was like, it didn't land. Cut and run.
I love when he says that. I love when Andy says that.
And then when Dorit kept explaining and talking and whatever, and Andy, there's like a pause, and Andy goes, I think what I've learned is sometimes listening and being quiet is how to handle this. And she's just like, she's like, can't be quiet for 2 seconds. She's like, okay, Andy, but here's the thing. just shut up.
That goddamn head wrap with that exposed black clip.
That's all I can look at.
All I can see.
I don't have why would you, if you have a hooded look, why would you put a bun, not a high bun, not a low bun, but right in the middle so that the hood doesn't fall flat? The hood has to go over the bun. That doesn't look good.
I wish I had prepared more because last week, a content creator, I don't know, maybe you saw this too. She posted, she was like, because she's like into fashion. She was like, I knew I saw Dorit's look somewhere. And it's like this other black lady who had that same look, who had but she had like different swirlies on the forehead that made more sense.
That made more sense because that one
did absolutely where Dorit got the whole thing from, because she just tried to put her little spin on it.
Oh, that's so true, by the way, because it looked like the white girl's version of a black woman's look.
Yeah.
Like the baby hairs.
Yeah.
First of all, what the fuck was that one little piece? And if you watch, you can see her, she keeps going to move it, but she's like, stop. So she keeps going.
Oh, yeah.
And it would drive me crazy because it's like right here.
Yeah, because it's just like,
it's just one.
You have to.
It wasn't it wasn't artistic or anything.
Not at all. And baby hairs, they are a practice. Mm-hmm. You have to really know what you're doing. I sometimes struggle when I'm trying to do my little baby hairs. I wouldn't try to be doing any like arts and crafts on my forehead.
But there you are with the one.
And you know it was not you got to get a black person to do a baby hair. Okay.
Exactly.
Like, you have to.
So instead, they just were like, we're going to pull this one little strand here and we're going to gel it to your head. We're not going to twirl it. We're not going to
freaking thing to her head instead of having that clip.
That clip is so ugly.
It was just like,
they kept coming out and like, that's all I can look at every time she was talking. I was like,
the other side was clipped fine.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because I was looking, I was like, I don't see the clip on the other side. They had messed up. They did.
Yeah, there was a wardrobe malfunction.
They were rushing because they were sewing her up in that dress for like 2 hours.
Her up in that dress. It doesn't excuse the hair.
It does not. No, you're
sorry.
Right. First of all, it's in most of the hair's like put away, so like I don't know, like how much time did you really spend on it?
Why would you? It's making me insane. Why would you not do a low hairstyle so that the hood? Oh, it's so bad.
And the shoes, I didn't like the shoes either.
I didn't even pay attention to those.
They're really chunky red shoes, like really, really massively chunky. And I feel like it looks really odd because the dress is so like narrow. So then you have these chunky shoes at the bottom. And I don't love the pairing.
The dress looked like there's a Project Runway design challenge where they're only allowed to use one fabric. That's literally what that looked like.
Yes. Like it's so funny because when I first saw her look, I was intrigued by it. I really was. I was like, do I like this? I didn't know. Mm-hmm. And it's because I do like the outfit, but just not on her.
Not on her.
And then when I saw that content, I have to find it for you later. I'll have to try to find that for you. It looks so good on this girl. I was like, okay, that's why I did like it, because that's what didn't we talk about? That's Dorit's problem, because now that she's not wearing these labels, we realize she is relying on labels because she don't know how to actually style anything. The clothes wears her.
It's true. It's fucking true. Jesus.
Fashion. She did not prepare the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
That was an unprepared answer is what I heard. You didn't know what the inspiration was because you picked it from somebody else's inspiration.
It is so not working, girl.
Fashion. Stolen.
Ooh, good one. The Crystal clapback, because Anna Marie, of course, has her segment. It's like a reluctant thing to watch. Like I'm like, I guess we'll watch it. And that's when stupid ass Anna Marie goes, I don't want to be a part of your circle of lies.
That was so good. You have never unleashed your Anna Marie voice yet. This is so good.
I thought I have, but okay. I don't
remember.
I'll take it. But Crystal goes, well, you're not a part of it, so don't worry about it. I thought that was good.
Crystal.
Good little clap back.
Up.
A good little clap back. And I also didn't appreciate Anne Marie trying to pull in old previous season stuff. She's like, you said something about Sutton. You said whatever. I'm like, you weren't here.
Yeah, you're not allowed
that doesn't have
to bring
anything
up
to do with you.
Right. You can't bring things up when you weren't there. That's weird.
You don't know.
That is weird.
You don't know you weren't a part of it. Dumbass.
You only exist in this universe from this season, so anything that happened before is none of your business.
It's exactly. And also I thought you weren't a fan. It gives away that they watched the show and are using that as reference, which is to me you can't do that. You can't make it obvious, at least. You can't use it as an argument point.
Yeah,
when you were not there. You don't know what that was about.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I feel
just look stupid.
Yeah, because that really takes me out of the universe when you do that, because it's were you at home last year watching the reunion like I was?
Yeah.
And now you're here? That's weird.
Now you're here on the stage. I don't like that.
I don't like that.
Not for housewives. Housewives, I like them to be nice and oblivious. No, I haven't watched the show, but everyone tells me that I should be on it, and here I am. I like that. I need that.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go. I have part 2 notes, so let's do part 2. We pick up on Kyle saying Dorit cares. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I should have checked.
A child bride.
Child bride. Thank you. Go in. Whatever. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was okay because circling back to your point about how you felt like Garcelle didn't articulate herself properly and that was going to backfire on her. Thank God for Crystal coming back to really solidify what we were trying to make, that this is a pattern with Dorit, and she keeps feigning ignorance, but it's
yes.
Yeah, fucking educate yourself, because it's no, okay, sure. Maybe you didn't understand what the usage of attack towards in reference to a black woman. Fine, but it's you keep there keeps being it's but maybe you do subconsciously, and that's why you're choosing to do it.
And her argument that Priscilla Presley was called a child bride. I'm she was 14.
She was 14, idiot. That is literally the definition of a child bride, because she was 14.
I can't believe she said that. I can't believe she said that it was a compliment. As if it's some glamorous thing. I'm Priscilla Presley was a fucking child bride, you crazy.
Yeah, and Elvis was 25 or something like that, or maybe even older than that. And also, wasn't Kyle in her early 20s when she got married to her first husband? So what are we all talking about right now?
So when she goes, Priscilla Presley was called a child bride, and Crystal and Garcelle are but she's Asian. She's Asian. And then Garcelle just goes, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, see,
that was, I think I replayed that over and see, this is what I'm talking about. You and being all fucking ignorant. See, this is it. This is the
And then
stuff.
Erika, did you catch what Erika said?
No.
Because then she was you're being microaggressive, and then Erika said, this sounds macro.
Macro-aggressive, yeah.
I was everybody's just not.
And they're going to ignore that? They're not going to bring that up? Anybody? Nobody?
I was damn.
I thought, and you're you're sitting right next to her.
I was no one's going to
Was there, Dorit because Dorit, of course, would pretend she didn't hear it. And so would Kyle. Yeah. Both Kyle and they'd be
they sure the fuck did.
And they'd just be we don't hear that. But it's yeah, no, it's a fucking macro-aggression to call an Asian woman a child bride.
Exactly. And then also, Kyle, you're up and I feel Kyle was still trying to see if she could steer Dorit into her corner at this point, because her piping up I feel trying to explain it away. Also, Kyle, don't try to explain away a microaggression. Just let her sit in that shit.
Yeah, no.
And you should have been chiming up for
and saying
the said child bride, since you were one, according to Dorit.
Yes, exactly. No, I'm there with you. I agree. Thank you for bringing that up, because I forgot how much I loved her going, see, this is what I'm talking about. I loved her saying that because it was just so real in that moment.
Yeah.
It's like she's been trying to fight this battle for herself, and then here she comes doing it again. It's like, okay, see, but this is what you do. Do you not see what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it's like, so are we just gonna keep pretending like,
Yes.
well, she didn't know, like she didn't like. She is an adult. She's in her 40s. Like and she
she's
can
not
speak
just
multiple
an adult.
languages.
She has got all this fucking feedback from all of these people. Hi, the audience. Yes. All of these people are trying to tell her the same thing. And she's like, Andy, what I don't understand is it's like there should be quiet.
Yeah.
You're not going to make sense of it. That's the thing. I really don't think Dorit, I think it's like a learning disability. I think there's been, I'm not kidding. I think that there's a study, and I cannot source it because I don't even remember if I saw it or if I read it in a comment, and this is like just bullshit what I'm about to say. But racism, they've discovered there's like an IQ issue a lot of the time.
Interesting.
And that makes sense to me. Like your cognitive skills are so off that you like can't quite figure out that what you're saying is like, that's just not correct. Like Jewish people aren't going to come take your job or whatever your weird, weird thing is. It's like, it's almost a disability. And I swear Dorit just cannot get stuff.
Yeah.
Ever.
Trump has a really low IQ.
I bet he does.
No, like he really does. Like there have been studies or whatever. And you know, he has his racism embedded in him. I could see.
Yeah. So I don't know where that person got that. I don't know where I got this information. Might have just been a comment, but I was like, I could see it. I could fucking see it. Oh, okay, this is totally off topic. Remember when I brought up, I'm gonna bring it it's just about Vanderpump Rules real quick.
Okay.
Remember on last season, I brought up a comment that I had seen about Schwartz's family?
Yes.
And I got someone tried to be mad. They're like, you're spreading false information. I'm like, I literally said it was just a comment. Okay. Yeah. It was a fucking comment. And I made sure to disclaimer it. So please, I won't accept that. But then I don't know if it's the same person or if someone else who knows who knows everything recently commented about Schwartz. I sent it to you. I can't remember what it said. It was something about his brother's alcoholism, like taking down his health, but that also that, again, his dad was an abusive cop, basically, and Schwartz's job was to maintain peace in the house. Yeah. I think there must be some truth to that.
I wish that they would stop producing the show so much so we could get deeper with some of these people. Because I would like to know more about that.
I want to blame Bravo, I think, because I think they did one of those network mandates with the production team, and they're like, you have to get them all to film with Tom Sandoval, because I know that they were fighting it in their contracts. Like when they were signing on, a lot of them were like, I don't want to film with him. They're like, you have to. And it was a big point of contention.
Somebody came in my comments on one of my videos, and they're like, so they're supposed to just like not film with Tom. And I was like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they shouldn't have to. What it feels like is that they've all been forced to do something with the repercussions of like being docked or not being like, you know, something would happen to their contract, so they're going to do it because that's the part of their job. So it's like, I wish that they wouldn't force them to do things that they wouldn't naturally do. And if they naturally want to hang out with Tom, I would be willing to see that, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels very inauthentic. And that's what I'm saying. It's not about not filming with Tom. It's about not being forced to film with Tom.
The only producing motivation, it seems, is getting them to agree to sit down and talk to Tom.
Yeah.
Like that seems to be their only intention every time they go to film something. And it's like, I said this last season, I wish they would not try to do the same formulaic show where they go on a trip and they whatever and just like look at the group for what it really is. Yeah. And they could have focused on the women. They could have focused on all the chicks and James. They could have just had them all filming together, but instead they're like, no, we have to figure out a way to get Tom Sandoval there. And that's not. We watch reality TV and we know it's produced, obviously, but this is taking it to a place that's very inauthentic and uncomfortable, and you're putting them in a shitty position. Honestly, they put the cast in a fucked up position.
They absolutely did. Some are way too happy to, though, be in that situation, Brock. so goddamn
Brock's like, I'm just happy I have more screen time.
I know. He annoys me with just even more than Sheena, honestly. It's like, at least Sheena earned her spot here to be annoying, okay? She did.
Yeah.
The show wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for her.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah. I also find it interesting that we don't dive into the Vanderpump Rules family, like, history that much. Like, they really don't go there. And I think that could have been a big game changer for this season. Let's dive in a little deeper to them individually as people, as opposed to just concerning ourselves with getting everyone to forgive Tom.
Yeah, because I don't care about that. I really don't.
I really don't.
And honestly, I'm not even really annoyed with Tom, because Tom is Tom. Tom is doing what Tom does.
And they could have just been filming Tom doing his Tom stuff with Billy and those people, and those could have been the scenes and whatever. But like, and I'm not saying Tom would have been fired, but
and I didn't want him to be fired, because the thing is, to everyone's point, this is not a show that something like this has not happened before. We've seen it so many seasons where people get caught cheating and all this stuff. We've had people be ostracized from the show before, and it still worked. Because like that's just what happens in this group. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm just so don't understand why they just won't get out of the way and let them do what they do. This this is what they do.
Yes.
And it will be fine. It will be fine.
Yeah. We didn't have, I said this on my recap, we didn't have any time during principal photography, like a main season, for Tom to be like sorry and be the bad guy.
Yeah.
They just wanted to, because it happened after they wrapped, and then we got the reunion. But that was it. Then we come back from the reunion for principal photography, and it's Tom the victim? That's the angle we're taking? No, I needed to see him suffering for at least half the season.
Yeah, I feel really bad for James, because I feel like James because I feel like Sheena, she's so used to like flip-flopping, so it really wasn't too big of a stretch for her to forgive Tom. She was dying to do it anyway. So if my boss forces me, I have to do it.
Yeah.
Lala, she also is a flip-flopper. She's just a more stealthy one. Yeah. And James, I could tell he was he is being told he needs to do these things with Tom, like especially in that one conversation he would probably never have had, honestly, because old James would be like, fuck off. No, not having this conversation. And I just feel like I even seen it in his like interviews, like when he was on Watch What Happens Live, and Andy was also trying to force this shit too. And he was like, I feel like hearing about Tom and Raquel or Rachel or whatever, like, do you think he's changed? He seems really sorry. He's like, I don't really want to give an answer right now, Andy, because I need to really watch him and see what I didn't see. Because Tom is really good at acting like he's sorry, and then mystifying you, and then I learn other information. So he's
then he does a confessional, and you're like, oh,
yeah. So I feel like so interesting that I've been feeling the most sorry for James, because I feel like he's in a really hard position where I can see the storyline being forced on him the most.
Yep. It is definitely being, and he's like, I'm just trying to go along, guys, and make, because they all love the producers, like the crew, producers, the cast, they're all very close.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like this must have been a Bravo mandate. Like the EP on the show has gotten phone call. It's like every time they do like a catch-up phone call with the exec, they're like, and everyone's talking to Tom?
I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me, because it is always from the top that makes these decisions, and producers are just, I mean, if someone is telling them they have to produce in this way, they're going to have to produce in that way. According
to Raquel's filing too, that lawsuit that she's got, which I read the filing in the parts that were interesting on my last episode, because it's fucking infuriating what she says about Ariana. Like, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But she says in there that Tom got a development deal with Bravo.
Oh, really?
And I don't know if that's accurate though, because half of the shit in that thing, I was like, what is this? It was one of the filing is infuriating. So I don't know if that's true or not. But if it is true, then it really tracks that Bravo was like, we got to get Tom.
They had already invested in him.
Right?
And they have to protect the investment, which is what Lisa's doing, which is what.
And Lisa
God.
Lisa
Girl.
is a jealous, competitive, toxic woman, and she's like that even with people who she wouldn't deem as peers. The reason why she likes Vanderpump Rules is because she's the boss.
Correct.
And she doesn't have to show any of her life. And that's what I am now convinced she's never going back to Beverly Hills. Not after the feedback she's getting. She's getting attacked by the audience. She thought she was safe on Vanderpump.
Yeah.
I don't think she'd ever go back and open herself up to like you do on Beverly Hills.
She made her Achilles heel is her jealousy and competitiveness, and she needed to stay out of their business.
Yes.
Well, she has no business chiming in as much as she is chiming in as if she actually follows their life day to day. And so that, like, I didn't mind her doing that on Beverly Hills because those were her friends.
Yeah.
But these are, like, it's weird what you're doing. And, like, in that TMZ thing that when she was talking about the lawsuit, Rachel's lawsuit, I was so disgusted by that entire thing. Like, I don't even like Rachel, but to say that she shouldn't be sending, if she doesn't want her porn to be sent out.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't see that? So like, she was like,
what?
That's how it started. That's how the TMZ thing started. Because they're like, how do you feel about, have you heard about Rachel's filing? And she was like, yeah, like, I just think the whole thing's ridiculous. Like, if you are going, maybe you shouldn't send your porn to your best friend's boyfriend, and then maybe it wouldn't get out or whatever.
What?
And it's like, I like literally broke down, like, I did a video where I broke down like, every part of why that TMZ interview was just
I'll go check
embarrassing and disgusting. That was
out.
Yeah, no. There was like probably 3 distinct parts where I was just like, you need to get in your car and drive away and stop talking.
And she's like abusing her authority over the group at this point with this season, where she calls Lala and Sheena over to tell them like he's considering taking his own life, and
that
was
like, so bad.
Did you just say that to them? That's so triggering. You just put
so
that
bad.
all on them. She's toxic. So
she essentially was like pretty much saying that if he does something to himself, it's your fault. Like, that's terrible. Like, I don't like how they're handling mental anything this season. I think it's super dangerous what they're doing, and I feel like it's being weaponized. And no one sat Tom down and said how horrible it was for him to weaponize Ariana's last year.
Exactly.
When he outed that she said that, allegedly said that she was going to kill himself if they broke up. Like, things like that is so damning and dangerous.
Mm-hmm. But Lisa does. If you were to say to Lisa, hey, how do you feel about Tom doing that to Ariana? She'd be like, oh, it's so long ago. And she would just like not ever hold his feet to the fire. I also saw, I don't know, am I just hallucinating this? I could have swore I saw some story about Tom and Lisa getting into a fight that they had to be restrained.
That does sound familiar, but I don't.
So I'm not like that came out, but I don't know if it
can't be true because she's still so team Tom. Like, I feel like that can't be true.
I can't imagine her getting so mad because he doesn't care. He will yell at her. Like, the way he was talking to her in that scene was crazy. And so if she's done all this for him and then he like snapped at her, I bet I could see her getting really pissed and snapping back. And anyway. All right, sorry for that pivot.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I brought Schwartz. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah. One last thing on this. I do think that if Andy in the network doesn't address Tom's article in the New York Times and also LVP's TMZ like interview or whatever that was at the reunion, like, and actually address it, not like 2 seconds to say that they did, that's some BS.
When did that TMZ LVP video come out? Was it recent?
It was last week.
Totally missed it.
It was like when you were in your. I think that's when you were in your.
I was on my staycation. So. Hold on. I need to find it.
What do you make about Rachel, Raquel, whatever? What do you make about her lawsuit against Tom and Ariana for revenge porn, like recording revenge porn and sharing it?
That's ridiculous. I think if you don't want to have somebody share your porn, then don't send it to your best friend's boyfriend, right? No?
Well, she didn't. It was a FaceTime that she didn't know was being recorded, and then Tom recorded it against her, like she didn't know.
I have to go.
And then he shared it, and Ariana found it and shared it with the castmates.
Well, she didn't share it with me.
Right.
Why did she leave me out? I don't get it.
Would you say at the very least that's inappropriate behavior?
It's all inappropriate.
I'm gagged.
Like, I couldn't believe she was saying what she was saying.
She is like the most out of touch boomer at this point.
Like, what? You, like, I was like, Ariana's being sued, and you're, like, even just kind of, like, making a joke about that. Like, no, that could have been an opportunity to be like, I don't believe she would do something like that.
I think that LVP loves anything bad happening to Ariana. She's so jealous of Ariana.
She is. She's
like, wait, how did she become a star just for getting cheated on? Like, that's what she's thinking. She's right there with them, with all their
and I feel like LVP, Lala, and Sheena, they can all see the writing on the wall that Ariana has officially outgrown the show and it doesn't need to be on it anymore and will thrive once she leaves. I hope she doesn't come back next year. I really think that the show has served the purpose for her, and I feel like she's outgrown the people on it. Like,
she always
besides
kind of
Katie.
Was like her only connection to the group was with Tom. Like, that was the only one that made me think, oh, that's why she's like tethered to this group.
Right.
But she didn't like Stassi. She didn't like Katie. She didn't like Kristen. She didn't, she really did not like, and she always makes fun of the show. Remember the season 8 or 9? The virtual reunion they did.
Yeah.
And she was so drunk, but she's like, I'm a garbage person. That's why I'm on this show. I was like, she's like, I know who I am. Okay. So she's always been very aware of like how shitty they all are as people.
Right.
Like, yeah. As where Sheena, and that's okay. Last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on. The way LVP has always tried to make Sheena into a star when Sheena's just not a star. The whole fucking show was built around Sheena. It's the first scene is Sheena talking to Brandy. She walks in and she still doesn't feel like she's the star of the show because it's a state of mind. It's honestly a state of fucking mind.
You just got me thinking of something.
What?
LVP, like Brandy and LVP were besties at that time, right? It's so interesting how LVP was forcing Sheena on Brandy so hard it was so uncomfortable, and she made her do that sit down. I don't know why I didn't see it, but like LVP really has no empathy for those who get cheated on.
No,
I think that she finds them stupid.
Yeah, and honestly, like you can see it because her and Ken are so solid, but she's always been around these like toxic, awful men and making excuses for them. Even her tagline for Sir is where you bring your mistress.
Oh my God, I didn't see it. And the making Brandy put the magazine to expose Kyle's thing.
Yay,
She doesn't respect women who get cheated on.
No.
She finds them weak, and she then wants to destroy them because she finds them weak. Oh my God.
Yeah, Lisa sucks. Yay, I'm so happy you finally came around. I came around I was like, fine, you've made good points. But now I'm just happy that we get to all live in like the reality.
Yeah.
Which is like, Lisa's been like this for a long time.
Yeah.
But I didn't think she would end up being jealous of one of the cast members of Vanderpump, but the jealousy on that woman is no joke. And that's also why I think she takes Sheena. That's why she takes Sheena under her wing, because Sheena will never outstar Lisa Vanderpump.
That's so true. And she will always need her.
It will always need her.
She can't do it on her own.
Yep. So it's not threatening
and it feeds her power. That's honestly probably why out of all of the men on the show, Jax was like the person she will throw away because, again, she just cannot be outshined. And Jax, honestly, he did not care and he wanted to outshine her. And he has said, this is my show. And she don't like that. Like the Toms, they might like be disrespectful, especially Sandoval, but to a degree, like they will never they will grovel at her feet. Jax ain't a groveler.
I think Sandoval's getting to that point too now.
I think he is getting to a point now.
Schwartz has always groveled, but Sandoval this season feels like nothing. He's not bowing down for shit.
The thing is, I think you're right. Like, because everything is getting to his head, which is how he said those stupid comments in the New York.
It's crazy that it's getting to his head. Him being a cheater he's gone to his head.
Yeah, he's
like
wild.
It's just so crazy. Everyone's like talking about it. Like he's like, it's kind of awesome. Like he likes it.
No, he really does.
No, he likes it.
Like when he was like hitting that wall, like I was like, oh my God, he like Scandival. Like he loved it. He loved that his name is like a verb.
Yes. Fucking asshole. Well, there we go. There's the Vanderpump Rules segment of this episode.
Whoopsies.
I should have known. I should have known bringing it up was going to make us go on tangents. Okay. Back to Kyle saying to Dorit that that she cared about the audience feedback or whatever, and that's why she was defending Kathy. And Dorit, that's when Dorit goes, all Kathy wanted was for you to recognize her feelings in it. And I was like, yes, that's it. And that's when Garcelle interrupts. Do you ever just apologize and say, I'm sorry? I'm like, shh, not now.
Yeah, not the right time.
We want Kyle to answer that. I wanted to hear what Kyle had to say to that. Dorit goes, I've apologized to you a dozen times. Okay, thank you, Dorit. You always make it worse. But Garcelle keeps looking over to Andy. I need to understand what this is about. She does it a lot, where she'll say something and then she'll look over at Andy like he's going to validate it. And I'm like, what is this about? Do you guys have some big old conversation beforehand? I doubt it, honestly. I don't think Andy gives anybody like that much time. I think that Garcelle looks at Andy as more of a peer and an equal. And like they're kind of in it together as opposed to her just being like one of the cast members.
I could see that.
And I don't hate it.
It's kind of like there have been housewives that I feel like have had that energy, like Tamra, Bethany. Yeah. Even what's her name? Bethany's ex Bethany. Carol was much
Carol
like
very
that.
much like that. Carol was very much like that.
Wasn't she like the only, like notoriously the only one that like got invited to Andy's like personal parties?
Probably.
Yeah.
Wait, was she really? That's funny.
I'm pretty sure because like that came up at some point. Like I think she was like actually friends with Andy.
Oh, that's right. Yes, she was actually. Yeah, and they are not cool now. I'll tell you that much. Not at all. Sutton comes to Dorit's defense, which was fine. Like, thank you very much. Now they talk about how the group dealt with Kyle's sobriety. Garcelle insists that they were just joking. Erika's like, it would have been different if she had an actual problem. Like, we wouldn't have been like, have a drink or anything. Yeah. But Dorit's like, no, we're not playing this game. She's like, I'm sorry, you changed everything. Okay, we're not just gonna be like, oh yeah, because I'm not playing this game. And Kyle, she's like, I've always worked out since I was 15. I just didn't talk about it as much. I guess that's true. I don't know. It still felt very jarring. It still felt like
I don't think anybody didn't think that she exercised.
Yeah, like, I don't think anyone was surprised that you worked out.
But this is your whole personality now.
Yeah, and like
you weren't getting up at 5 a.m. and doing this shit
and posting about it. Like I used to follow these girls, the Tone It Up girls, Karina and Katrina, and they were fitness gurus, and I was so obsessed with them. And this was when Instagram was like still very new. A lot of it was like posting on Instagram and tagging them and hashtagging TIU team and like all this shit. And so I didn't have like an Instagram following. This is like 7-8 years ago. And so I started posting just like tagging them, whatever, on my personal. And I went and hung out with a friend and she was like, are you in some like contest? Like, what is all this shit you post? I'm posting like my food. It was like my entire personality online. Uh-huh. It's fine to do that. But when that's not what people are used to, it is going to throw them off that suddenly that's how you're representing yourself all the time.
Yeah. And I don't
act like that's what I don't like about it. Kyle's like, guys, I've always worked out. It's like, Kyle, not like this. Stop it.
Right. Like, yeah, it's like you can acknowledge that you found a new passion because you're allowed to. You're allowed to just try new things.
Yes, exactly.
And evolve. That's fine. But you're trying to like gaslight us into being like
it's no big deal.
Like it's not a big deal. But the thing is, it is a big deal because that's one of your points of why you're not as close to Dorit anymore because, no offense, you couldn't even go on a 6-mile hike with me. Like, don't be trying to weaponize your fitness.
I would have so been Dorit in that moment. Like, sure, yeah, I'll go on a walk with you guys. And then finding out it's like a 2-mile walk or whatever the hell. I'm like, oh no, I would be Dorit on the concrete. Like, I'm in shape. I work out, but I hate walking in the heat outside when I'm not prepared.
I don't know what Kyle thought she was doing with that comment. Because again, I did not even like Dorit, but I understood what Dorit was saying. It was like, I'm sorry, you didn't I wasn't prepared for your 7. Like, that was not kind of how you had framed it.
Yeah, you made it seem like it was going to be some cute walk, but then I'm like sweating going up a hill. Like, if you invite me on a hike and you don't tell me I'm going on a hike, we are going to have problems. I'm going to stay at the bottom of that mountain. You can go up and come back, and I'll be here waiting for you.
Leave me. Like,
and it's
And also, it's like, so you can't be close to somebody if they don't work out the way you work out. That's a weird fucking thing to say.
You don't want to work out with me. It's like, that all you do with people?
It's like you don't go
to lunch.
So yeah, you don't do anything.
You don't
else.
watch a movie. I don't know. You don't invite people over just
do you
to
like to paint pottery? Like, what the hell else do you do?
So you just work out, and the friends that don't join you at 5 a.m. are not going to be in your circle.
And so maybe we should talk about it, because that doesn't seem healthy that you have no other hobbies.
Yes, you don't go out with people and have a nice little dinner ever.
Like, that's weird. That's weird.
That's not, no. Kyle.
And I haven't, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a weird thing to say to somebody
of
why you're not close to them, because you don't have the same fitness routine.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's
you can't
weird.
do any other activities because
you do that 24 hours a day. Like, there's no other room for anything else. Like, maybe a smoothie. Like, we can get a healthy smoothie.
Yeah.
Like,
invite
I don't
her to
know.
go to a healthy lunch. What the fuck? That's just bad. Those are bad excuses, Kyle.
That wasn't just say, I don't like you anymore.
Just say, I've grown out of this friendship.
Right. Like, don't. Like, again, that's why people are talking about your fitness, because you're being weird about your fitness.
You're being weird about it.
You're being weird about
You're being
fitness.
weird about it, not us, okay?
And then gaslighting us over here.
God damn it. But then Kyle says this line. She goes, I was doing a lot, drinking, doing drugs. We could talk. I was being reckless. And I wrote book in the works in all caps. I guarantee Kyle's working on a book right now.
Oh, wait.
That's what that line was.
I thought she was saying... Oh, I misheard that then.
What did you think she said?
I thought she was saying, it would be different to talk about, if I was, doing, drugs. I thought she was saying...
Oh, is that what she was saying?
I thought that's what she... But I could be wrong. So she was like...
Because she said I was being reckless, though.
I thought she said if I was being reckless and doing things like drugs, all this stuff, I could see you having to talk about that, but I'm just working out. Like, why is that a big deal? I thought that's what she was saying, but I could be wrong. I may have misheard that.
I could have swore she was saying I was being reckless and that I was doing a lot, drinking, doing drugs. But you know what? I may have it wrong. And these are two very interpretations of something, like polar opposites. So
yeah,
we're going to leave it open to interpretation, because I don't want to say it like I might not be right.
I don't know. I'm curious. I'm going to go back later.
Yeah, we'll go back.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I could be wrong. So either way, guys, it could go either direction.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, exactly. Whichever direction you'd like to go down, take it.
Yours is actually more fun.
Yeah, mine's way more scandalous.
Mine's too practical. I'm going to go to yours.
Yeah, go to mine. Mine's way more fun. Let's stay here.
I want to live in your land. I want to live in your land.
Totally. Okay, but Sutton interrupts because she cannot wait. She goes, I'm going to say that you were being reckless because you said I had a drinking problem, which, thank you, yes.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of dialogue written out for this. We do not have to go through it all, but the back and forth again with Kyle and Sutton. Sutton did get gagged a few times. She did get gagged a few times. She kept doing with her eyes all big. I was like, oop, she got you. But Kyle also avoids and doesn't answer directly and shit. So it was very similar to the weed dinner.
Yeah.
Where it's good dialogue, but I'm kind of team neither.
Yes.
In it. And in fact, Sutton was kind of irritating me, the way she was then answer it. She was kind of doing
yeah.
But she asks questions that are good questions. They're important questions. Because Kyle is so smug.
Yeah.
But also Sutton becomes the same level of smug. Kyle's like, I never said you had a drinking problem, which is that technicality that Kyle likes to play on, which we've discussed at length before. And then Sutton's like, well, did you not insinuate I had one?
Right.
And Kyle starts to talk, and then Sutton goes, did you or did you not? And then Kyle goes, don't do the name him thing. Well, then answer it. And it's like, like I could not be Sutton's friend because Sutton does, like, she kind of gets on my fucking nerves, but it's not wrong.
Right. The thing is, it didn't bother me because I like it when it's towards Kyle because Kyle has a thing about the technicalities and evading it and, all these things. And I feel like Sutton uses this annoyance, like she knows that this will get under Kyle, so it is as a tactic to throw her off kilter. So that's why I accept it. But I understand it is I think it's meant to do what it is doing, and it's to be annoying. I think it's purposeful.
And I get I get her intention. It's just that I just Sutton would get on my goddamn nerves.
Yeah, like you could not be around her all the time.
Like she would, like the way she says, I'm just be like, because she's kind of so like she's feeling herself this season,
right.
So like I'm gonna, but Kyle's just so fucking smug about it.
Yeah,
I actually never said that. I made sure I didn't say something like that, and then she starts stuttering. I said I don't know if she had a drink, and then she cuts herself off because she knows it's ridiculous. She goes, I mean, hello, we all drink. No, Kyle, you don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
No, Kyle, you were absolutely insinuating that alcohol was the issue.
Yes, and that's another reason why. So, okay, that's a great point, Emily, because then it's like, oh, I don't drink, and like, why is everyone like making this into a big deal? Because your attitude now that you don't drink is, so either you really do think she has a drinking problem, or now because you don't drink, you're like,
maybe she was drinking.
Like, yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, well, like I had a friend who had stopped, like we would party together, and then he stopped drinking, and then like if you got drunk, it would like this judgy tone would like, and he checked himself. He started realizing he was doing that. It's like, I'm so happy and supportive that you're not drinking, but like you don't need to like be over here judging me because like I'm drinking and whatever. The drunkenness comes from the drinking. That's what happens when you start drinking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't be like, don't talk about me not drinking and then start insinuating that people have drinking problems. And that's exactly what you were doing.
Exactly. And then Sutton's like, well, let's also remember that you said I just push my food around and I don't eat. And Kyle's like, well, I would say that again. And so to me, her noticing that is honestly just more a comment on her own eating disorder. Honestly. Yeah. Because like, I'm hyper aware of how much food people eat when I'm with them because I have issues with food.
Okay.
And so if people don't eat something, I like note that. Like I'm like, oh, they didn't eat the bread. Because I'm like, I ate the bread. I shouldn't have eaten the bread. I'm going to go binge on bread later. Like that's how my brain works.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like what Crystal talks about. Like it's a constant like obsession and whatever. And so to me, that's what that proves with Kyle is that Kyle has been clocking how Sutton eats because Kyle's always aware of how she eats. And so I think that's more of a comment on her eating disorders.
Right, projection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, than on Sutton. Because if Sutton provided if my friend told me she had some esophagus thing.
God damn, esophagus.
That'd be the end of it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, she's got some esophagus thing. And I'd be like, I'm jealous. I want an esophagus thing that makes me not eat. Like, that's honestly what would come out of my mouth.
And you know what? I'm not even mad that Kyle like necessarily doubted the esophagus thing because it's in the sense of like,
I think that's so funny.
Yeah, because it's a human thing, especially if she does have a history of an eating disorder. It's not this esophagus stuff. I've never heard of it until this season. So thank you for the education. I had no idea it was a thing.
Mm-hmm. No idea.
I didn't know that could happen to someone. And apparently, a lot of people suffer from it now that we know. It's been coming out all over social media.
I know, right? Everyone's like, I have the same thing.
Right. So Kyle's initial doubting of it and thinking it maybe that's made up because she has an eating disorder because she has one or had one. It's a natural human thing. So, but after like Sutton does go into detail and explain it, and you can also just Google it to see if that's some BS, you can stop perpetuating it or just let the mouse go, as Sutton would say. Like, just let it go.
Let it go.
And it didn't, and then it just did seem at a certain point you were being mean about it.
Mm-hmm. Then we get into Kyle asking, what have I ever done to you for you to do what you did to me at the weed dinner party? And that's where Sutton goes into a lot of technicalities as well, in my opinion, where she's like, that wasn't a seedling. And I'm like, okay, that's a technicality because like you were absolutely seedling left and right.
Yeah.
And Kyle's like, but Kyle asks a valid question. If we're living in a pretend land where Sutton and Kyle are really friends, because I don't think they really are deep down. But in a pretend world, Kyle's like, why wouldn't you say, hey, are you okay? Do you need a friend? Not bring it up like that. And it's like, fine, that is fair. Because Sutton then wants to be like, I'm your friend, Kyle. I'm your good friend. It's like, Sutton, you're really not.
I agree.
You're not her friend. And I feel like she's always so surprised when people react and respond to her accordingly. Mm-hmm. That's my main issue with Sutton. It's like, Sutton, you were dukes up the whole season in your confessionals shamelessly, which was great TV, but like expect retaliation.
I feel like she was kind of doing what Rinna did, where she was like, I'm on a show, this is my job, and I want to provide good entertainment for the audience. Thank you, Sutton, you did. But it was at like the sacrifice of your friendship, your real friendships or whatever. And Rinna did the same thing with Denise. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know you were going to go with Denise on that one.
Oh, who do you think I was going to go with?
I didn't know, actually. I didn't know where the comparison, but yeah, I guess that was like that.
Because Denise has been on lots of podcasts lately.
Also, honestly, like Rinna did to Sutton, too.
Exactly.
She brought her on the show and then went against her.
Absolutely. The thing is, I didn't know if that was like a produced friendship. Like, you know how they like...
Yeah, they make them pretend that they met. Yeah.
Right. So I went with Denise because Denise, I think maybe it was on the Nick Viall podcast. She was just talking about Rinna bringing her on the show and her not realizing that Rinna was going to do her job and kind of like screw her and not care about their like 20-year-long friendship. And she was like, I just wasn't prepared for that.
I'm so fucking done with Denise. I am so fucking done with her, dude. Did you see what the hell was that wig she was wearing at Watch What Happens Live?
I didn't watch her on Watch What Happens Live.
She was on with Sonia Morgan, who I swear was wearing her daughter's dress because it did not fit. It was like it was kind of sad, but I don't know what look Denise was rocking. I don't know if this was her real hair, but like
I gotta look it up. Here,
I have a picture of it.
No, hold on.
Isn't that weird?
I actually feel like I've seen that picture and I had no idea that was Denise. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
And so if it's a wig,
that's definitely a wig. Like, okay. What is that?
So why?
From Amazon.
Why that wig?
I don't know.
I was like, and we're done, Denise. Unforgivable.
I'm so shook by that. Like, I need to I'm going to have to look at that.
It seems
really hardcore.
It seems like a cry for help. It's so bad.
It was one thing with the upside down coat, but
now we are on another level. This is so intentional and confusing and all of it. Yeah. Because I was like, is it for a role? But then that doesn't make sense. She doesn't need to style it like that. That was a choice. God. That was a choice.
And the outfit.
It's so bad. It's all bad. It's bad all the way around. Okay, so back to this. They're still on like, Kyle, you did say there was a drinking problem, and Sutton saying like, I saw y'all in the kitchen, and Kyle's like, y'all, everyone, don't blame me for what Dorit. Kyle throws Dorit right under that bus.
She chucked her
boom,
with her new muscles.
Her new muscles.
Chucked her over there.
Shot put her into the bus. Like, I didn't say it, and like those words never came out of my mouth. Drinking problem never came out of my mouth. And Sutton goes, and they won't come out of your mouth because you're very smart. And I was like, wrong. Finally, we do need to talk about this openly, you guys. Like,
thank you.
We see you. Like, we're not blind. You think I was just surprised at how much she thought she could double down. Like, technically, I didn't say it. No, this wasn't like an LVP stealth move. Like where. You didn't see LVP say anything about anything until, something came out and she was like, what?
Yeah.
Kyle, we watched you have a conversation with Dorit saying that there was some alcohol involved, and then she's talking about the alcohol stuff in front of Crystal, and you're kind of co-signing it. Like, so no, you can't get off on the technicality here, girl.
And the thing is, I know she had Dorit fucking say that. And Dorit can't even admit it because that means she would be admitting to collusion.
Yes.
And
Dorit is too busy trying her hardest to explain what she really meant, which still doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
At all.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Maybe Kyle should be on Traitors.
Kyle and Sutton actually had kind of similar tactics, to be honest.
Absolutely did.
When Sutton, I'm going to skip some stuff. When Sutton was like, I didn't say that, Garcelle said it. It's like, okay, like, I don't like that. I don't like that you kind of threw Garcelle under the bus for literally doing what you wanted to do.
Right. Like Garcelle was just like getting it. She's like, you're saying this.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just all be clear. Mm-hmm. So she was really just saying what Sutton said.
Mm-hmm.
So you still said it because it was what you said.
Yeah. So,
I'm just repeating
she tried to pull a Kyle on Kyle, and Kyle's like, I do that, so I know what you did.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, I didn't girl. We all watched.
I think that is why I did like LVP, because I just respected how good she was at all of it. Because I knew she was doing all the things that they are accusing her of, but I just felt like I respected how like clean she kept her hands. And I'm like especially in like the Teddy situation, it's like, Teddy, you never spoke to her directly. How dumb can you be?
That was such a dumb move.
I was like, how genius on Lisa's part though. I was like, I know you did it though.
Yeah. Kyle's monologue about all this, like she watched her kids grow up throughout her whole time on the show. It didn't land as much as she thought it did, because the length of time of you being on the show, it almost just proves that, for a long time now, you haven't been talking about what's really going on. Like when she said that, I was like, and only like the first 2 seasons were you really like open.
Yeah, but it always is about somebody else. Like you outed Kim's alcoholism and all that stuff.
I never can co-sign that line. I'm so sorry. I know everyone tries to, but I cannot co-sign that line.
Oh, wait.
I'm sorry. I think that it's fucked up for Kim and for Kyle in this situation. Right. So I don't like when people are like, she outed the alcoholism. Kim outed her alcoholism.
Well, yeah.
Kim did. Kyle has had a lifetime of hiding Kim's alcoholism.
True.
At her own detriment. Yeah. And yes, it was hideous and she was sorry, but I think it's a low-hanging fruit. People are like, she outed the alcoholism. Sorry, I get very passionate about it because I'm like, no, Kim never gets shit for her own actions. No, Kyle was the kid that was like, but she's done this to me. Like she missed an appointment. She didn't pick me up from whatever. All the stuff that happens when you're an alcoholic. What happened to Kyle? But it's like, shh, don't talk about it. So she finally lost it.
Yeah. But I think my main point about that was just like, that was the only time I felt like she was willing to talk, was when it wasn't like about like her like immediate family. But she never would like go into anything else. Like that was the only time she was ever like real and raw, which is fine because I think she did need to get that out, to your point, because she has never gotten to be
unfortunately it didn't do it didn't do anything good, because then Kim just constantly uses that as like, and then you did that. I'm like, Kim, you were fucking drinking too. Like you have so much responsibility that you never take.
I actually felt the worst. It's so funny. I actually forget about this, but I did feel for Kyle. I don't know what season it was. It was that season where Kim's alcoholism was
season 5.
Damn. That was so fast.
Because Kim triggers me. Kim, like, I have I love Kim, but the audience hates Kyle so much that they let Kim continue to be. Yeah. It's enabling, honestly.
I remember feeling really, really bad for Kyle, because I could see her losing her sister in real time. And I was getting super infuriated with Brandy, because that's when Kim was like besties with Brandy, and Brandy kept intervening in their, and I don't like this. I do not like when people intervene in family shit, which is
Yes.
what I was really annoyed with Rinna doing.
Yes.
That one season that really pisses me off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I felt so bad for Kyle that season because she was trying so hard to keep her sister alive. And she had Brandy, dangerous, toxic Brandy. Like, I would have been so scared to have my sister paired up with someone like that. And I still remember when she had to yank Brandy back off them stairs in Eileen's house. I was like, yank her fucking back.
I felt the same way. Like, I would have physically moved Brandy out of the way too. Because like,
I was like, yes, Kyle, move. That's your sister. Move that bitch.
Yes.
So I forget about that. So that was a really good season, actually.
Oh, it was a great season. It's one of the best seasons ever. Yeah. So
the thing is, I personally didn't like how Kim's thing came out, but I can absolutely understand it. You know how I have a real up and down with the Richard sisters. I know
they're so complicated.
They're very complex, which I honestly could just have a show about these.
I'm telling you.
But
I feel like that it's time to do that at this point. Get Kyle off Beverly Hills Housewives because she's not here to play the game anymore.
Right.
And just do the Richard sisters.
Yeah.
Which is what it was originally supposed to be.
Oh.
Yeah. Kyle pitched it as the three of them.
Oh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And so then that's why Andy and Kyle are so close, because like she brought it to Bravo, essentially. Yeah. And so let's do that now. I want to see Kathy, Kim, and Kyle. And Kyle doesn't want to play these games. She doesn't like any of these people anyway. She's basically said that she doesn't like any of them. So she doesn't want to talk about her shit. So go with your siblings. I
would love to do a deep dive in their relationship, because again, I think all three of them play a part of their dysfunction. And I feel like maybe Kim is probably the only one now, because she has had to get sober and all that stuff. I feel like she can.
I had to cut something out because it was very top secret tea about someone. I can't say anymore. You know me, I can't fuck up my sources.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You can't fuck up your source.
Because it's like, oh, wait, bitch. I literally said don't say this.
Yeah. And you're the only, or it's like, sometimes it's a test too. I don't think
that's what I was thinking. I was like, or was it like,
sometimes, I know that particular thing wasn't a test, but I know that does happen the Kardashians invented it, where you'll tell someone something to see if it gets out. And if it does get out, you're like, so you're the leak.
Which is smart.
It's brilliant.
It's actually super smart.
Yeah. It's like warfare is what it is.
Because there's so many people that you have to figure out who you really can trust.
Yeah, it's true. If you sell online, you already know that shipping costs are a whole thing, because you can't charge people a ton of money for shipping. Because I abandon carts left and right if they've got a high shipping cost. But then you, as the owner of the business, are like, well, I got to make money somehow, and I can't afford these shipping rates. Well, when I was in my drop shipping era, I wish I freaking knew about ShipStation. So they've got these incredible discounts that you get just through ShipStation from USPS, UPS, DHL, Global Post. I'm talking discounts up to 89% off USPS and UPS rates. And ShipStation has enterprise solutions that reduce warehouse costs and improve profitability. And as your business grows, you can save thousands on shipping costs. ShipStation's got really great automation and reporting that makes scaling super easy. And automating is actually the way to go. You want to easily automate shipping tasks and manage orders in one simple dashboard. Well, that's why ShipStation's amazing. Rules and automations allow you to print shipping labels at the click of a button. Effortless integration everywhere you sell online, including Amazon, Walmart, Shopify, and so much more. You manage orders, you print labels, you compare rates, you optimize every shipment, and automate delivery notifications. Where was this when I was in my drop shipping era? I might just bring back the era just so I can use ShipStation again. And so let's say you're not 100% sure. ShipStation has a free trial, super quick setup. You can just try things out before you commit, and you can get started right away. So you guys, optimize and keep up your momentum for growth with ShipStation. Use promo code SheSpeaks today at ShipStation.com to sign up for your free 60-day trial. That's ShipStation.com, promo code SheSpeaks. Okay, Kyle. I think Kyle kind of gags Sutton here a little bit. This is where she gangs her.
Yeah,
Kyle starts listing some stuff. She's like, we can't talk about Christian. He's a very powerful man. We can't talk about Magic Mike. And then Sutton's over there like, that's a lie. That's a lie. They go back and forth for a little bit. But then Kyle hits us with, you came into this season just to come after me. And of course, what? No, I didn't. And then she goes, well, I'm sorry, but maybe buying a horse in your cashmere line wasn't enough. And Sutton goes, you want to talk about my horse now? You can make fun of my accent. And Kyle cuts her off and goes, oh, so we're not allowed to talk about your horse either. And Sutton just goes, because like you were about to say they can talk about anything else. They can't talk about the horse, weren't you, Sutton? You were about to limit them on saying something about your fucking horse.
I know Sutton bought that horse drunk. I know she did.
That was a total drunk purchase.
That
oh
was
my
a
God.
drunk purchase. I didn't know you could purchase a horse.
I didn't know you could purchase online. I didn't know it was like a click of a button.
How much was it?
Exactly. And then her answer, more than your Birkin.
Damn, like Sutton, like, can you, like, honestly, she could wipe up my student loans, like, with a click.
I know.
I know that horse costs more than my student loans.
Of course.
Oh,
Andy,
my friend just got her loans forgiven. She got an email from Biden.
Yes. How do you get on that list?
Well, there was a thing last year where they were doing, like, the loan forgiveness. I did sign up for it, but
It's a lottery?
I guess so. I'm refreshing my shit. Like, please, Biden. I will, like, all
Maybe
the
it's
votes.
coming. Maybe it's coming. It's possible. If that happened, then that is.
Yeah, like she said, I saw she put a screenshot of it on Instagram story, and it said your loans are forgiven for the Biden administration. I said, bitch.
No, I feel like if it can happen to her, it'll happen to you.
Oh man, I hope so.
Yeah. Andy asked if any of the women feel that Kyle was insinuating that Sutton had a drinking problem. And Crystal's like, honestly, more Dorit. And Dorit's like, what? Because Andy goes, Dorit, were you insinuating that Sutton had a drinking problem? And she goes, was I insinuating that Sutton had a drinking problem? And Andy's like, yes. And he repeats it. Dorit goes, I don't know. I'm not with you all the time. I don't think you have a drinking problem. Garcelle totally clocks that. It's like, the only reason you repeat the question is because you're stalling.
Yeah, because you're like, how do I frame this?
Yeah, you're like, one more time, as if she didn't speak English. Did I insinuate? Yes. Did you insinuate? And the answer is yes. I don't think you have a drinking problem, but I'm not with you all the time. So you're still insinuating it.
Yeah, I was like, how are you going to you just did it in real time.
You're doing it right now.
I do love what Sutton says back to her. Carcass out. Like, I was like,
carcass out. That was that was like a Drag Race read.
Yeah.
Sorry, carcass out.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how many carcasses are on that floor at night either. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, the Dorit and PK package goes on and on and on and on.
I did not realize that Julia Roberts commented on the Pretty Woman thing. What? That's iconic. That is fucking iconic.
It was really fucking funny. It was really funny. She's not wrong. If the gift had been the necklace, then that's fine. But then they all really came to her defense. They're like, but or PK's defense. They're like, it was a big deal. That was a big expensive purchase. He shouldn't have done. It's like he didn't have to get that necklace. He could have gone and found a necklace. He could have afforded. But instead, it was like, this is just a weird performance thing. It was weird.
I feel like ever since that happened and Dorit wasn't like fawning on him, he fled. He was like, well, I'm going to London and never coming back. His feelings were so hurt. He was just like, well, good luck filming. But for the rest, I won't be here. He like literally clocked out after that episode. We didn't see PK after that.
It's true. He's like, so you're going to have me do it and then you're going to make fun of me for my nice gesture.
Yeah, that's why she didn't get nothing for Mother's Day.
He's like, it's not even a big deal in England. And I had all these UK followers be like, it's absolutely a big deal in England. That's like, not true at all.
I love whenever Lisa does this shit too. Like anytime they do something that's like not okay, they're like, it's a British thing. I was like, I don't necessarily think it is. I think that's a you thing and you're like blaming the whole UK for it. Like, no.
Yeah, sometimes fine. Sometimes sure. There is absolutely a difference in culture, but not as often as you say. No. Okay. About Garcelle bringing up the jewelry post-robbery. Garcelle says what we've all been thinking. Honestly, right. I was like, oh my God, did she listen to the podcast? Because it's exactly what we've been saying.
Yeah.
So the things that are explained away, her rings were on the dresser. Okay, fine.
Mhm.
As Garcelle said, I think the robbery was real for you, Dorit. But I'm sorry.
I wish Garcelle, like, this is a moment where I wish she had just said what she was, like, she was kind of doing a Sutton thing, like, just say, because we all know what she's saying, but, like, I don't think Dorit, because I don't think that Dorit.
I don't think Dorit is, she has no idea that this is even an option.
Yeah, like, I don't think Dorit knows that we have these theories, truly. And I kind of wish that Garcelle would just be like, I think PK set you up, boo. Like,
yeah, like, I don't think you were supposed to be home. And I think that there was a reason for why he would want the robbery.
Yeah, and that's maybe also a reason why they followed instructions so well, because they were hired by your husband, possibly.
Well, I don't think Dorit was supposed to be home. I do not think for a second PK wanted Dorit home.
I don't think that either. Like, that was our biggest theory. Like, I don't think that he would intentionally traumatize his wife, or intentionally traumatize his children. In our theory, it was almost like they got the calendar dates mixed up, and it was like, that's what happened. That's our theory of it, because some things just don't make sense about it. But I totally believe that this happened to her for sure.
But I love, so Garcelle is like, who leaves the phone? Like, you don't leave the phone. Andy brings up a decent point, which is the tracker. But I'm like, honestly, they could have just chucked it. Like, they could have taken it and just chucked it and ran. You know, like,
right? Because, like, yeah, I think that I would chuck it too, because it's like, I want to lessen the amount of time that you can get cops here. Like, I need to, like, you know what I mean? I need to be far away.
I need to be far away, and I don't know. It just seemed like, I don't know. It did seem odd. But then Dorit's like, let me explain it, and she thinks that her explanation is going to make us be like, oh, see? But it's so entitled. Her explanation. She's like, I said, please, I have to call my husband. So they left it. I'm like, you don't think other people who've been involved in robberies have pleaded in the exact same way, if not even more intense, and it doesn't matter?
I mean, I do still find, like, I do think that Annie made a really good point. I still don't, because, like, you know how many times I've gotten my phone stolen? Like, in West Hollywood? Like, those people are, like, if you steal stuff, you, like, know what to do. Like, like, the tracking thing won't be an issue, because Lord knows I can never get my phone back. Like, like, you know what I mean? So it's just, like, that, it is odd. Yeah. I will say that Andy's point was fair, but, like, I don't know.
Fair, but they wouldn't have, like, taken the phone for their, like, personal use. They would have taken the phone so that she couldn't call out. But you know what? Maybe they did really have that heart. I don't know. That's the other thing. The other argument is, because PK said that they weren't very good, these guys. They left all these big ticket items. So I'm like, I hate saying it, but if this really was a genuine accidental, oops, we thought you guys weren't home and you're home and we're newbie robbers, she would have been shot. That's more likely. That's what I'm saying. That's more likely. The nerves, here she is. Oh my God. Like, it takes a lot of skill to do what they did, in my opinion.
And they said they had a gun?
She had a gun to her head.
Jesus.
I'm just saying, like, if they really were like that, I don't know. It's just such a it's a wacky story.
Yeah.
As people who are obsessed with true crime and have I went through a really dark phase recently where I wouldn't stop watching true crime. I'm very grateful Traitors had two new episodes, and Miami had 3, because I was like, I need to stop watching true crime.
I know there's so much good shit out. I literally voice noted you.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. So I was on a kick where I was watching it constantly, and it just, like, that just is such a rare story.
The only thing is I can think of, like, now that you said rare, it could have, all of what Dorit said and all the happenstance, that could have happened, because I think about that. Remember that one thing that just came, it didn't just, well, the new documentary version came out, but I've seen that story on 2020 before about the lady who was abducted and then she was just dropped off at her mom's house.
Yes.
And yeah, that one, no one believed her either. And that also, like, didn't sound like it would make sense. And then it all turned out to be true. So
you're right.
It is a possibility that these robbers are just some kind-hearted robbers who
really were just trying to take some stuff.
Right. So, but I like our theory better because it's more fun.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go back to that. Andy asks Sutton, what was that whole thing about PK being arrested with the woman? And Sutton is genuinely making this up. Like, she pulls out the streets were talking.
Like, what streets?
And I'm glad Erika's like, what streets? What streets are you on? No streets were talking. The police report would have said he was with another person.
Right.
Police report said no one else was in the car. I've never heard that. I had never heard it until Sutton said it. But that's the thing. She says really shady stuff.
Yeah.
And then she gets upset when other people kind of retaliate or have like a follow-up. And that's always what irritates me with Sutton. I'm like, bitch, you said that. That was a big thing to say.
Yeah, I think that she made that up, and that's why she was happy to move on from it, because she knew she made that up, because she was like, well, I mean, I got in trouble for it, and like with the whole PK.
Exactly.
PK thing,
PK added me on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, well, I mean, I got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Because I made it up.
Exactly. When Andy talks about Julia Roberts saying what she said, Dorit goes, you know it was mirroring the movie, right?
Yeah, that's why we asked her.
Andy's like, why else do you think fucking Julia Roberts chimed in? What the fuck?
You don't think okay.
She's so stupid. I'm telling you, she's dumb. I'm telling you. The PK package, it goes on and on and on, my God. But now they're in a better place, better than ever. She takes the longest pause. He's like, how are you in PK now? She's like, honestly, we're better than ever. Okay. It took too long to say that.
Was she editing in her head like, this will be a great little
sound
clip
bite
for the show, like a cliffhanger.
Long pause. Better than ever. And everyone giggled. Everyone was like, okay, now we don't. Now no one believes you. Like, no one believes you now. Here's another part. Dorit is going through the journey of how they got to where they are, her and PK. And Andy goes, because at one point she was like, he was staying at the hotel with Boy George. And Andy's like, so you were living separate lives. And Dorit's like, no. And she needs him to take it back because, as she says, words have weight.
See, she again helping Garcelle's case.
Garcelle's like, did you hear that? Did you fucking hear that? Did you hear her say that?
See, Garcelle didn't make her case well, but then for some reason, Dorit wanted to give her all the evidence.
Dorit kept making it for her.
It's like, great, thank you, because we really did need everyone to know that she is this way.
Right? Oh my God, I can't believe we have so much left to do, Pia. We haven't even started Miami. I just realized at the time. Well, guys, I hope you enjoy this very long episode.
I like long podcasts.
Good. We're about to give them one. We used to always do long ones. Last Beverly Hills season, they always were long because there was so much to fucking talk about.
And I felt like the season was longer.
I think it was longer. It was longer, and I think
45 episodes.
I think because of like Rinna going on social media so much too. So like we couldn't even just talk about the episode. We had to be like, and then also this week, and it was like there's so much to it. Okay, the Andy moves to Dorit confiding in Kyle about her marriage issues and like, how does it feel that Kyle didn't trust you enough to talk about her marital problems? And Kyle's like, well, I thought we were better friends, and then you brought that shit up on camera. And again, that's not that like you could have if you had been in a good enough place with Dorit up until cameras up, you probably would have talked about it. But you're really blaming it on that when Dorit's like, yeah, you were avoiding me though, Kyle.
That's
like,
true.
You weren't like it. I didn't have an option prior to cameras going up because you weren't talking to me.
Because I can't go on a 6-mile hike.
I can't go on a fucking 6-mile hike with you. But then Kyle's like, no, okay, when I go through things, I pull back and I like to be alone. And Dorit keeps going, but you weren't alone. And Kyle's like, well, I don't mean like alone in a dark cell. I'm like alone, like I'm not putting myself out there. And Dorit just keeps going, you kept a very tight circle of friends. I'm like, girl, what are you trying to get Kyle to say? I couldn't tell are you trying to get her to say Morgan? Morgan was keeping me company. Morgan, are you trying to get her to say that?
I think that's a part of it, but it's like, you're trying to like act as if like you retreated, like you were withdrawing from all of your friends in your life because you're in some like your headspace, but you clearly were picking and choosing what friends you kept, like Teddy, like Morgan. Yeah, Morgan is one of them.
Yeah. So I think Dorit's like, admit you don't like me.
Yeah, I think it is that. It's like, admit that you just didn't want to talk to me. So like, stop acting like that. Like, that's not what's happening here. Mm-hmm. It's like, I reached out and you didn't call me back, bitch.
Ditch. Erika gets a fucking comeback package and a whole promo for Bet It All on Blonde, and that
thing auto played after I turned it off so fast.
Yeah, they very much gave it a promo because they show her like talking more about Tom. I'm like, no, they don't. It's more her lies.
Yeah.
I only saw the preview or the clip they showed, but it's her being like, as far as he's concerned, he's practicing law. Okay, girl.
What?
Girl, he's not that far gone.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not the case. Like, they don't hallucinate fully like that. Like, my grandpa, he died of Alzheimer's, and it's a sad process, and they really do, the very, very end, they start hallucinating.
Oh,
but like, that's the end. And so if he's just been, and that's why Crystal's like, yeah, I don't get this. I don't get that he was found. We'll get to that in a second.
You can't put anything past Crystal.
No,
like,
not when it comes to this shit.
She's a walking encyclopedia.
Yeah. Before that happens, though, Andy brings up Sutton joking about tickets being only $7. And I got really irritated with Sutton here, too.
I did, too. Like, Sutton, just fucking
I was
say
actually
you're being
coming
shady.
to her defense because he'd said they were $1. And they're all like, girl. And then she goes, can't y'all take a joke? And even Andy's like, but you just said you were defending her.
Yeah.
Now
like,
it's a joke?
Just like Erika said, shady thing about Dorit and PK, and said, I'm a showman, like, that's what you needed to answer. Like, I know what I was doing, and I'm a like how they ended up pretty much feeding her.
Yeah, Andy literally goes, were you being a showman?
Yeah.
And then Erika will move on from there, too, because as much as I hate her, Erika is able to take the shade.
Right. Like it wasn't even that, and it wasn't even like that big of a deal. That's why it was annoying. It's like, you don't need to figure out a way to rationalize what you said, because what you said was funny and it was light. So that's like that's the level that we all expect from housewives. So just you just ruined your own joke.
Yeah, exactly. You ruined your own joke. That was on you. Sutton.
Yeah. Like why did you do that?
Yeah. So then the Erika package is very much like her typical skirting around things. Even so much about when Andy brings up meeting with the victims and she explains that it was on advice of counsel. And then when she goes, Erika says, she spoke with these women. I thought it was important that they see me as a person and not through the lens of a reality TV show. I'm like, bitch, they wanted you to meet them so that they could know you actually believe them and feel for them and have empathy for them.
Yeah, and that they're not just people attached to a lawsuit, that they're real, like you can see who they are. You can see how this has really affected their lives. And so that maybe you can then have empathy because you're meeting physical beings, tangible people to see in front of you.
But instead it was for them to know you? Girl. That just says everything right there.
I know, and that's the energy I felt when I watched it. It was like, it felt like this whole you are so lucky to be in my presence, and I hated that because this was an I felt like this was a moment where she needed to sit back and let them tell her how her and Tom have affected them, and she just listened. And she was so defensive she was so defensive that entire time.
It was bad. And then
I did end up reaching out to that one lady.
You did? Kimberly Archie?
Yes. Yes.
Was she so nice?
She was amazing. We had a great chat. And she was so kind. And it was amazing. I felt really bad because I completely fumbled in how I was trying to articulate my point, and I wanted to make her not make her, but I wanted to express how
that
bad
probably
I felt.
meant a lot to her.
Yeah, she was so sweet, so kind, and I just wanted to really make sure I apologized to her.
Oh, I bet she fucking loved that. She probably didn't know that was coming either. Yeah, no, she's amazing. She's been advocating for these victims for so fucking long, and then Erika does what she does. It's like, what a slap in the face. But then Andy goes, can you better explain to me why you met with the victims? And she goes, I cannot. And he says, why not? I cannot. Bitch, I'm going to backhand you. And he goes, did you learn things from them? And she goes, yes, I did. One of them being that one of my paychecks was in a client trust fund. And yeah, we've been knowing this. People who've been following it, not just headlines, but a lot of content creators were doing dives all the time. It's we know you knew. Okay. We know you were aware. But I don't know, it was confusing because Andy goes, so it was the opposite of what people were accusing you of. What? No, she was getting paid from a client trust.
Yeah.
That's what they thought it was. Like, what did he think? No, what? No, it was not the opposite. It was exactly what they thought.
Yeah.
Which is why they're mad at her, because there's proof that she was benefiting from, like.
Yeah. I just don't love that she truly considers herself on the same level of victim.
Yes.
As a victim. Like, that bothers me to no end. Because it's like, you had years of just lavish lifestyles. And sure, it could be, if you did not know what was going on, it is devastating to learn this information, but you're in no way, shape, or form anywhere near a victim in the same way as them. Like, how dare you?
That was so bad.
I felt like Eileen. How dare you?
How dare you? God, that was
I miss Eileen. Can we bring her back?
I really miss Eileen. I thought she was so good. I thought her last season was a good last season. It's like it was time for her to go, I feel, but I'd like to revisit Eileen.
I miss Eileen. I forget
she was so good. She had reads on reads.
What's her name?
When Kim goes, the faces that you make. Have you seen your face? One of the best comebacks ever. I
also just like, because she's such a soap opera actor, she can't turn it off. And like when Kim calls her a beast, how dare you? It's just, how dare you? Like,
no, it's just one of the best responses.
It's
beast.
Just so,
how dare you? Oh my God, it's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
What's that one actress that is like Ryan Murphy's like go-to gal, like American Horror Story? She's super, super famous. But
Sarah Paulson?
Yes, Sarah Paulson. She is a huge Housewife fan. And I remember when she was on Watch What Happens Live and she found out that Eileen was no longer going to be on the season, she was so pissed. She was like, what happened to Eileen? That, like, she was so mad. So I think it's time for Eileen to come back.
Yeah. If she has a story going on, I'm so down for it.
Yeah. Or a friend of something.
Something, yeah. Andy says that he brings up Tom being ruled competent to stand trial. Crystal is like, I've been waiting to talk about this one. So she's like, yeah, I don't get how that works. And I could tell what she was hinting at. I knew immediately what she was hinting at, because she goes, so my dad has Alzheimer's. And the way Erika goes, yeah, so I know you know. Like, she was kind of irritated by that. Like, she was like, yeah, so you have fucking, okay. The standard length of survival from diagnosis is 9 years. So that was 4 years ago when he would be very progressed. So for Tom to be able to stand trial right now seems strange to me. And Erika goes, I don't know what Crystal's saying. If she's saying that he's faking it, then just say that. Well, she's actually saying you lied to her. That's what she's saying. Okay. Mm-hmm. So then Andy sends him on break and Garcelle whispers, like, I understood what you were saying. You're saying, like, for the way he was 4 years later, for him to be competent, somebody's lying. And Crystal goes, then it would be her. Boom. Boom. Huge moment. Because that's exactly what it was. She lied and said he's declining, and you related because you had an experience. And she was like, hell yeah. Erika loved that. Crystal was coming to her defense left and right.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
And now Crystal feels bamboozled, I bet, because she's like, I don't think he even had what you were talking about.
I never did. He conveniently had all this when charges got pulled up.
Yeah, and like, Erika, you left that man? You left a man that was that far gone because he was mean? After all these years?
I mean,
it just was a pure coincidence that it happened to be right before these lawsuits came out?
Yeah, like
I need you to fucking admit that that's why you left. Because until you do, I'm still not buying it. Because she still runs with it. She still says, when I left Tom, and then coincidentally, these lawsuits came out. I think she said the word coincidentally. She said something. She acknowledged it.
She made it very clear that it had nothing to do with the lawsuit, and it had everything to do. Also, though, if he does have that, you don't leave someone when they're
exactly, like, that's what I'm saying.
Because then it's not his fault that that's happening. Now, if he's just mean because he's a mean old man, that's
but if
different.
you think he's in mental decline,
you don't leave him.
You'd be handling it very differently. But instead, she tells the story like, I said, I love you. And he said, thanks, hun. Okay. So was he in mental decline? You're telling two different versions of a story. You're telling one story where everything's fine with him. He's just an asshole and you finally had the guts to leave.
Yeah.
And then in the exact same breath, you're saying he's been in mental decline for years. and shouldn't be held responsible for what's happening or something. That's what you're essentially saying.
It's not math, and the math ain't mathin'.
Math ain't mathin', girl. Andy asked producers, is Kathy making an entrance, or are we starting with her? And they're all like, what? Kathy?
Did Kyle know she was coming?
I feel like Kyle might have been the only one who knew.
Yeah.
Kathy spills all that tea, though, in glam.
I love Kathy.
She's like, oh, yeah, Kyle wouldn't do this haphazardly. She thinks things through. It's probably been going on for like 3 or 4 years. And then she goes, I probably shouldn't say that. Nope.
That's what makes Kathy good for this show is because she doesn't she just says shit. And I kind of need that sometimes.
Yes.
I need that.
Yes.
Doses though.
I missed Kathy this season. I think it'd be great to get. No, let's go back to the original. Let's go back to what we said. I want Kathy, Kim, and Kyle. Yeah. Let's get them their own show. Off. Spin it off. Get Kyle out of there. Spin it off and let them do that.
I mean, Lisa got her own show. I feel like at this point, Kyle's earned her own show.
Kyle has earned her own show, especially with Kathy and Kim. Fuck.
Yeah, I think she's absolutely earned it.
I'm going to watch that. The Richards family fascinates the hell out of me. So yeah, I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
Okay, the full Sutton / Magic Mike package. Wait, hold on. Andy in the intro, he goes, Sutton and her pants stormed out of there. It reminded me of like when Nene goes, okay, glasses. Okay, pants. When you refer to somebody with an article of clothing,
I love it.
It's my favorite.
So
it can
funny.
either be that's what I like. It can be a compliment or it can be an insult depending on how you say it.
It's the
okay glasses. I love
okay
them.
Glasses. That's
okay,
a good
new
one.
Glasses. Like okay glasses. That's an insult. That's the biggest, and no one knows what to say back.
And Andy actually does it.
Okay, hood.
Earlier. Yeah. Okay, hood. That was shady. I knew exactly what he was like.
Thank you for bringing that up because when he said that, I was like, "Oh, he literally stole that from the Atlanta women."
Yeah, he was commenting on, "I don't like your outfit."
When you have nothing else to say, okay, hood.
Okay, hood. Like you tried it, didn't work, but you tried it. Okay, hood. It's like a bless your heart.
It is. It's so up there with that.
That's how Black people do that.
So I felt very like he learned from the Atlanta Potomac women. Like he took that. That was cultural appropriation. I'm just kidding. I'm just fully kidding. I couldn't even hear like why Sutton talks about how she freaked out at match. Was that Penn?
Yes. I might need to take him to use the bathroom soon.
Oh, go. Okay, we're back. This is how long this episode is. That you had to take Penn out. Penn's like,
yeah, he was like, he
take this long.
He like came out into the room and he was like he's like, okay, I wonder if she's gonna be wrapping it up, and then he just progressively got closer and closer and sat.
Oh well, Penn,
just staring at me, mugging me.
It's like important. He's like, I gotta go, or I'm gonna get in trouble. Okay, so I can't hear about why Sutton freaked out at Magic Mike. We've heard it a million times.
Right, like it was bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Andy does not believe that Erika set up the elevator, for the record. But then Sutton goes, it's just that you were so ready to humiliate me. And I'm actually kind of on Erika's side with this one. I'm like, yeah, I would be mad at you too at that point.
Yeah, I completely understood why Erika did what she did, because
it was a whole spectacle.
Sutton made a spectacle. Like, it was a whole spectacle. And like, she had, like, it was really just disrespectful to the people who, like, this is supposed to be their, like, segment to promote Magic Mike and how great the show is. And you, like, turn it into that. It was.
Yeah. So, and like, the people who performed it are going to feel a certain way about it.
Yeah.
You know?
So,
like,
I mean.
So, yeah. In terms of Christian moving to London, apparently this is the first time that Sutton stood up to him, because he had said that you're moving to London and our son's moving to London, but she stood up and said no. I have to say, Sutton really loves her story being that she's changed and found her voice. She kind of brings it up a lot. Like, it's like, okay, we get it. We get it. It's also it kind of gets old for me. It's the most unrelatable thing for me about Sutton, that she was like this uber wealthy kept wife who's still trying to figure out how to have some independence. I'm like, I'm a little exhausted by it, Sutton.
Yeah. I think it's also because it's like we really never learned anything about the dynamics of their relationship up until now. So it does feel like out of left field, and like I'm like, Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But I mean, I guess if I were to go back and look at the first season, I could kind of see a difference, but it's not like so drastic that I'm like, oh yeah, Sutton's transformed completely.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. So Andy goes, yeah, I know. I've seen that with a lot of women that do these shows for a few years. They definitely say they find their voice. And Sutton has been waiting. She goes, and I want to speak to that for a minute. Kyle, you said something that really hurt my feelings. You said, all I have is cashmere and a horse. I'm like, Sutton, she's just going to say she was kidding and you just made a joke. Like,
yeah.
Well, I'm telling you that it's not true. We all know that I have a store. I've been open for 4.5 years. And I also have a new business that's really big. It's a really big deal business. And I'm like, well, what? What could it be? Is it a bank? I feel like it's a bank. I feel like she's opening a fucking bank.
A bank?
Right? I feel like I wouldn't.
You need somewhere to put all that money.
Yeah. And it's just for her. It's banking just for her.
Just private. I have my own private bank. I don't trust
private
anybody
bank.
with all my millions.
Mm-hmm. And I will loan out money. Maybe she'll loan out money for an interest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, she was trying to give Erika a loan when she was friends with her.
Yeah.
That's how the whole thing came about. She's like, I mean, I was one of the first people to reach out to you, offer you money because I thought that like Tom was screwing you over and I was helping you escape this man. Mm-hmm. So if I ask you some questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was
where my money's going.
I needed to approve the loan.
Yeah, exactly.
Andy brings questions.
Andy brings up that we have found she revealed to us what she gets in alimony, $300,000 a month.
That is literally, please just pay my student loans off. Like that is nothing.
Nothing.
You would still have money left over
a month, every month. It's like it wouldn't even. Yeah. But for some reason, probably because she hasn't had anything to do with anything, he's like, Anne Marie, how do you feel about Sutton showing people her alimony?
I forgot she was there.
This bitch is like, I come from a world where you don't discuss money. I have a lot of very, very wealthy and very, very famous friends. Sutton, do you want to, Sutton, do what you want, but I come from a world where you just don't do that.
You know, I finally figured out what that voice sounds like. It sounds like her, but it reminds me of how they talk on Daria.
Is that I don't know what it sounds like to someone else. I only know what it sounds like in my head.
But like it is what she sounds like.
Yeah, she's like, okay, guys, I come from a world. I'm like, you don't come from any world. Be quiet. I mean, that's insulting. She probably does. But I'm like, just shut up.
Doesn't come from any world. She doesn't come from any world.
You don't come from a world where people have all this money. Okay, everyone here does. Shut up. And also, Sutton's like old money.
Yeah, I just like you're just trying to say that she's tacky for talking. Like I wanted to know that. I'm so interested to know how much. Like that's crazy. I love learning about people's like when they have stupid money. Like that's nuts.
Yeah, like Anne Marie she tried to be all like, I come from a world where you're like where I'm classier, and I'm like, no, you're not. We're not.
You're not like you wouldn't have been talking about an esophagus for like your entire storyline if you're that classy.
Exactly. Andy brings up something Kyle said in her Amazon Live, something that she was taking a break from Sutton after seeing her interviews. And Sutton says something like, you talk about changing when we get on camera, you do that. And I'm sure she does on some level, but Kyle's like, what did you expect me to do when you're acting like you're acting, saying to me, is that a makeup ring because your husband cheated? And Sutton, I didn't say that. That made me very upset.
Well, you did, Sutton. Like
you did. Your good friend Garcelle, you're gonna blame her now. You're gonna do exactly what Kyle's doing to Dorit. I didn't say that. Garcelle did.
The thing is, Sutton gets herself in trouble in the sense of like, I'm not mad that you said it because it's an interesting point to make, but just live in it and own it. Own it.
And Kyle, you can't trick Kyle. It's like you guys already talked about it on camera.
Right.
So, and then Dorit goes, and you had that conversation behind her back. And fucking Sutton goes, oh, well, it's already all over the internet. I'm like, you're just asking for trouble by saying that.
Yeah.
And they're obviously like, oh, thank you so much for bringing it out on the show then. Like, what the fuck was that supposed to be?
Fuel the internet.
Yeah.
There's things are always on the internet. But that doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, exactly. Sutton tries it. When I left your library, I was happy not to talk about it. I was like, you got to the table, and when someone said, where's Kyle? You said, in denial, probably, or whatever you said. So, no, you weren't. Yeah. No, you literally weren't, Sutton. And then Sutton insists, I didn't bring it up. I didn't bring it up. And then she literally looks at Garcelle.
Like, why am I in it?
She's like, bitch, you fucking Garcelle wouldn't have even thought about it. Yeah, she didn't notice Kyle's ring. Sutton did.
She says that. She was like, I would never have noticed. Oh, yeah, that's how she ends up saying that one line about dorit.
Yes.
That is how we got there. Okay.
Yeah. Kyle is like, you get to the table. Oh, sorry, I already said that line. Andy brings up Teddy. This was good. Teddy,
yes,
Teddy on Watch What Happens Live saying the vodka in the purse. And the viewer question or viewer response is Teddy's doing Kyle's dirty work, which I was like, did Pia write this in? I literally was like, this is like
damn,
verbatim.
Emily.
No, I was like, this is like verbatim what we've said on
Yes, I did. It was me. Just kidding. I didn't write this in. I don't even know how to do that.
I don't either, actually. I get very confused. It's only Twitter, right?
I don't.
Tweet me your things. What?
Side tangent really, really quick. Sean texted me the other day. It was like, my friend follows you on Twitter. I don't go on my Twitter, guys. I have a Twitter, but I don't go on it. And he was like, someone's taken over your account and posting weird shit.
What?
Yes. I was like, what? And so like, I couldn't even log. I had to like reset my password.
Did you have to disable it?
No, I just went in and I had to just change the password and stuff like that. Yeah, somebody like it was like somebody.
What had they posted?
Like I didn't really look into it, but because I was deleted it so quickly. But it was just like it was clearly spam ass shit.
Oh,
and it was so weird. It was like 5 or 6 posts. I have no idea how long they've been doing that. And I was like, what? Check on your like socials that you don't like necessarily.
Yeah, your rogue socials.
Yeah, like I need somebody could be running my Snapchat for all I know.
Do you still have a Snapchat?
I do. I just don't go on it. Like I should look.
You should look it up.
Into that.
You should look it up. Kyle, of course, says that it's not true that Teddy. No, she wasn't doing my dirty work. And Sutton is like, well, then why wouldn't you say that's not true? And Kyle's like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing your dirty work. Huh? That is just basic shit. That's just. You and Sutton are not friends, period. I don't care what you guys say anymore. I'm done playing this game because if I went on Watch What Happens Live with you, Pia, and you said something that I knew to be incorrect about a friend of mine, my instinct would be like, oh, no, that's not true.
And it's so funny because didn't Kyle earlier get really mad at Dorit for just simply staying quiet when that one person at BravoCon made that comment about like stop forcing Teddy on us, and she was really livid with Dorit for not saying
I don't remember that.
You don't remember her saying that?
Was this in the reunion?
Yeah.
I totally tuned out. I didn't even catch that part. I don't remember Kyle saying that at all to Dorit. I probably tuned the fuck out.
Yeah, she was like, she was
mad at Dorit.
Yes, that was one of her, like, she was like, even Erika chimed in and Anna Marie. But you said nothing. You sat there quiet. Like, if you know Teddy, and for you not to, just like, she was trying to prove her point of like why Dorit's like not a good friend. I think it was in segment 1.
Part 1?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah. That was her, like,
what might have happened? I might not have watched the Peacock Part 1 version.
Oh, yeah. I only watched the reunion on Peacock.
Ah, okay. Because I think when I first watched it, it was right before I was going to, like, I was trying to figure out my that's what it was. I watched, because I have Sling, which has been life-changing, by the way, because I get to watch on the East Coast feed. So I was watching it I was watching it just on Sling, and I bet that was in the Peacock extended version, because I would have remembered that.
Oh, yeah. So that's what she said. Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention because it was about Teddy. But okay, interesting, Pia.
Yeah, like they did a whole flashback thing with the viewer thing and showing, and then that was her, and then Dorit was like, are you serious?
Okay, maybe I did just tune that out, because I vaguely remember them flashing back to that person saying, why are you forcing Teddy on us? I just really wasn't paying attention. I was like, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about this segment. Wow.
Right.
Great job. Prepping
but it's just funny to me now, like, I forgot what we were talking about. Honestly.
We're talking about Sutton saying, why didn't you, like, stand up and say that's not true?
Oh, yes.
Like, I'm not doing your dirty work.
Yeah, so it's like, you got so freaking mad at Dorit for, like, not saying anything. It's the same exact, that's what gets me mad at Kyle. Like, Kyle picks and chooses, like, she just contradicts herself a lot.
A lot. Sutton does insist, though, Kyle, you've got to take some responsibility for insinuating I have a drinking problem.
Right.
But Kyle won't. But I agree, too. I agree. You know how the fans work. You know how this whole thing goes down. You know that by doing that, you're insinuating. You know what's going to happen, girl.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So next up is Kathy coming on. The reason why it looks like Kyle's about to confess to her relationship with Morgan is because it was like, okay, what's your relationship with Morgan like? And she's like, and Kathy goes, don't be embarrassed. I'm like, whoa, oh. And she's like, I'm not. I think Sutton's panic attack, because I think by now we
I
at
forgot
least
about
know.
that.
Yeah, when she's like, oh. Sorry.
Damn, Emily.
I just think it's so funny the way she does it. Whoa.
It's like she's seen a ghost.
Yes. That's someone who's had many panic attacks. I'm like, I've never been like, whoa.
It's the big one.
It's the big one. Exactly.
I just think of Sanford and Son every single time.
She's just like
I'm
a
coming to you,
cartoon.
Virginia.
She's just like a cartoon character. So sorry, but I think it's Kathy related. I do, because she talked about stuff that she discussed with Kathy on the show, and I wonder if Kathy is going to say something about it.
Oh, shit.
I think that's got to be one of Andy's questions, because that was a big part of the Kyle Sutton, not storyline, but conflict was the Kathy thing. So
yeah.
I have been wardrobely challenged for the last, I would say 10 years, honestly, but I didn't like the way I looked in clothes. I hated shopping. So when it was time to purchase clothes to wear out in public and be a normal functioning human being, I was overwhelmed. It's a big, costly endeavor, you see. But then Quince came along and sponsored the pod. Now I've been able to shop for luxury essentials and stay on budget, like 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters for $50. Yes, please. Organic cotton sweaters, washable silk tops, timeless 14-karat gold jewelry. The best part is all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They do that by partnering directly with top factories. So they cut out the costs of the middleman and they pass those savings on to us. And very important, Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. We love that. Best pair of yoga pants I've ever purchased. And I've purchased every big brand of yoga pants in the search for the best one. And I have to say, Quince is the best. They hold my butt up perfectly. They're not see-through. Oh, I love those pants. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/shespeaks for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/shespeaks to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/shespeaks. Wow, I cannot believe we're on 2-hour mark, and now we're going to get into Miami.
Well, that was because we had a mini Vanderpump Rules recap.
We had a mini Vanderpump Rules recap in there. That was like a good 20 minutes at least.
At least.
Yeah. Okay. Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
Okay. Larsa, this is part one. I'm going to go into part one. I need to know your thoughts on this because you didn't watch last season.
Yeah.
Larsa's claims that she claimed that she had sex with Scotty 4 times a night, every night. This is at the last reunion. And of course,
for 20 years?
And that's exactly what everyone said. Because everyone was like, well, no, you can't say every night because there have got to be times you guys weren't with each other or you went on vacation. Like it's just physically impossible. But she's and then now she's doubling down and she says with Marcus, it's 5 times a night.
It's just like an absurd amount of times. Like I don't even think a man could physically, without some help of like
that's
medicine.
What I'm saying. Like
I don't think they would be able to do that unless
every single night. Like I get having like a weekend where you're going for it, but every night. Who has that kind of time?
But the thing, I could even buy every day, but like in a sense, or like almost every day. But you're saying multiple times, and every day, that seems like excessive. Like, then it seems like y'all have like a sex addiction because that's weird.
And it just sounds like your vagina is ripped to shreds.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound enjoyable.
Yeah, it sounds like
a task.
Like I'm literally in pain thinking about that.
And like, how long are these sessions?
Yeah,
like, I have like follow-up questions.
Yes, exactly. We all had these questions, but
she's like, take breaks?
She's like, some of you guys just aren't as in tune with your sexuality. It's like, no, we just know how biology works, and
that's like a 9 to 5.
Sounds like it would hurt me.
There's no way.
There's no way. There's just no way. Just 5 times a night, sometimes, sure. Every single night. Like today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day.
Like, but how would you have time to do anything else?
That's what I'm saying.
Do you shower in between every time? Is it just one?
Yes.
I have a lot of questions.
Exactly. Okay. Good. Kiki and Larsa. Larsa has a problem, of course, with Kiki for what she said in her confessionals. And I knew that was going to happen because Kiki was being amazing in her confessionals. But like, I knew that was going to happen. But specifically, the comment that she made about the welcome home party after 5 days.
No one agreed with that. That was
everyone
crazy.
Was embarrassed for you, Larsa. Okay.
It didn't make no sense. Like, it was 5 days.
It was like so. And I don't like when they flash to the control room or whatever, or the
he was getting
backstage.
On my nerves.
He was
hard.
Like, don't hate on our love, sir.
Like, he was too aggressive for me. Like they couldn't even wash the dishes in my house. Like
they couldn't even wash the dishes in my house, and then he was just ready to fight.
Yeah, it's like, are you the like 8th housewife or like however many housewives there are in that franchise? Like that was weird. Like,
I can see.
What do you do?
I can see it brewing because we find out that he like goes off about the women with Andy, and he says some shit that they're going to be like, whoa. I can see it brewing.
He just seems like the epitome of a trust fund baby. Like you didn't play in the NBA, right? You are Michael Jordan's son. You were not Michael Jordan. Like I didn't know who you were until Larsa scooped you up from daycare.
You know what I keep laughing about, Pia? When you said the line from, I guess it was 2 weeks ago now, when I was like, well, yeah, when Larsa, she hasn't even met Michael Jordan yet. And you go, in this life. But I think about it often. I just laugh. I'm like, it's so fucking true. If you guys listening, watching, if you have not watched The Last Dance on Netflix, you have to watch it just to understand how close Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan were.
Yeah.
Which is why it's impossible to believe that Larsa was just like totally disconnected, really. Like, she's like, we didn't even really hang out. It's like,
impossible.
So you have to watch just for that. It's also a great docuseries.
I've seen it like 10 times.
It's amazing. But like that helps you understand why it's so ludicrous and crazy that you would do that.
Like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, they have their like thing. Because Scottie has always tried to be as, good as Michael, but they were literally like,
that was his number 2.
That was his number 2. Like if you look at the Last Dance poster on Netflix, it's literally a picture of Michael and Scottie like holding like their trophy. They are the Last Dance, and it's you know what I mean.
So like that's why it's just like, of all the other basketball stars, that's why it's weird. Okay. That's why it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But back to Kiki. Kiki, I love her. I need her to get a mojito. I need her to be a housewife because I think she is my favorite, honestly, of all franchises at this point. Because she can give you a read and she will get down in it, but she will always come back like with respect and want resolution, which is like unheard of.
She's the epitome of what housewives are supposed to be, and people have completely just gone rogue. Yes. And they think that they know what a housewife is, and it's like, I don't want any of what you're giving me. Like, but Kiki is perfect.
Boom. She is incredible. Because Kiki reminds Larsa, are you the same Larsa who told me I had to go find a man in order to hang out with you? And then when they flash back, I forgot just how audacious it was to say that.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Kiki, go find a man and then we can hang out. Like, who says that?
A high schooler.
A high schooler. It's so embarrassing.
You're so
embarrassing.
It's gross.
Yes. Larsa had already called Kiki, though, talking shit, saying like, oh, you use a vibrator because you can't keep a man. And threatening to like expose things. And that's when Guerdy steps in and tries to say like, this is a pattern, but she kind of stumbles a little bit. And Andy's like, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But when they pick it back up, it's good. When they pick it back up, it's very good. I don't know why Kiki still wants to be friends with Larsa. I don't know why any of them want to be friends with Larsa. She's not someone I would be friends with. I like watching her on my TV because she's crazy, but like she's not a nice person. Because she starts like
a lot of people like her. I've noticed
a lot.
I don't know what she does in those friendships. Maybe she's like a really good friend when she is single, and then you know what I mean, like because she has time. I don't know. But
Larsa's like, my real friends are happy for me. Okay, everyone's happy for you. All right. If you don't know how ridiculous your relationship looks with how codependent you guys are, then I don't know what to tell you. All right?
Yeah, I was like, they're all being quite nice to you about this whole thing because I would be saying how weird it is every 5 seconds.
Every 5 seconds. Kiki gives a little heartfelt apology, and then Andy's like, okay, she's apologized to you. Like, Andy's trying so hard to manufacture this. He's like, please, Jesus, take this so we can end this segment. He's like, how do you guys move forward? And Larsa starts to be like, I'm sorry, and I hope you're sorry, too. And he's like, no, she said sorry. She said sorry. So now, we're going to move forward. But then they get into the Michael Jordan video. I love that Julia can flex because she has Martina. Mm-hmm. And I love that she goes, I could not even imagine dating like Chris Everett's son or daughter. And Andy's like, right? One of the biggest because he loves tennis, one of the biggest rivalries in tennis. And Marcus is like, not even close, Andy. No, it is.
It is Marcus to stop acting like he has dribbled a ball on any NBA court. Like, no, stop. Like
No, it's actually exactly like that. Huge sports rivalries.
It's the same exact thing.
Like Shaquille and Kobe. Like these people go hand in hand. Okay?
Yeah, it's freaking weird.
Of all the people, it's just crazy. So Scotty doesn't care. Scotty already probably hates her anyway. Like Scotty's already like, you embarrassed the fuck out of me anyway already. So we're done.
I would be so mad if I was Scotty because
God!
Because first of all, Scotty already has a chip on his shoulder with Michael Jordan.
Yes,
a huge one,
a huge chip,
a huge because he feels like he didn't get a fair contract, but that was his fault.
Scotty fucked up, and for people who don't know, Scotty signed a contract that was a gross underpay for what it was, but he just didn't. He wasn't good at business,
right?
Michael got obviously. All kinds of shit. So Scotty's career a lot of it was spent being super resentful and underappreciated.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan was the opposite of that. But Michael Jordan also just like, there are certain sports stars, Michael Jordan's one of them, Kobe Bryant's another great example. Like when they're so good at it there's just like, they're like godly almost. Yeah. And that is Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen is an amazing number 2.
Yeah.
Like Scotty and Jordan together were incredible. But imagine being Scottie Pippen knowing that you make Jordan better and then you're getting like half of what, so that is like the rivalry we're talking about. Yes,
yeah, his anger is misplaced. It's not Michael's fault that you were a bad negotiator.
Mm-hmm. But that is the status of that. So that's why we're saying like of all the fucking people he played with.
Yeah, that had to have been a real gut punch because I believe Sean's the one who told me this. So I'm pretty much just saying whatever Sean said. He was like, Scotty just recently said that he was the best player on the Bulls or whatever. And Sean was like,
who said that? Scotty said about himself?
Yeah.
About himself?
Yes. And Sean was like, he's still delusional.
I'm sorry, Scotty. Honestly, Michael Jordan was otherworldly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
Yes.
Tiger Woods is another really good example of these people that are just like unbelievably good.
Legitimately, probably, arguably the best player to ever play.
Like, I'm so sorry, but Jordan was that guy.
Yes.
Scotty.
So
that's what we're talking about, guys. so
and then he goes.
What we're fucking talking about.
And then your ex-wife goes and marries
his son.
Or wants to marry his son and have children. Like,
why is that even more insulting? Like, why is it the son even more? Like, Michael Jordan wouldn't even be as insulting. For some reason, the son, it's like, what?
It's like that whole family is like just knocking him down.
Yeah.
It's like that's what it probably feels like to him. It's like, why is and the thing is, again, I feel like Jordan's still out here trying to help Scott. He's publicly condemned it. He was trying to throw you a motherfucking bone. Like, he was like, I don't like it either. I do not co-sign for any of this shit. I didn't co-sign your original contract, and I don't co-sign this one.
Totally. Larsa explains it. It's so stupid too. She's like, you have to understand the basketball world is really small. And we're like, yeah, that's kind of the point. But she's like, I'm around coaches and athletes and people that my ex played with all the time. We're like, we know. It's just that of all the fucking people.
Yeah, like, I'm not even saying you can't date somebody in the NBA. Just like maybe not that particular person. Like,
and
that's
Guerdy has a good save. Guerdy comes in and is like, you could be, why not just be vulnerable and be like, yeah, guys, it is a little awkward. It is a little fucking weird. Yeah. But Larsa's like, I've said that. I'm like, no, you
have not. You make it seem it's so normal.
Yeah, you're like, what? We're fine. Like, that's what you do to us. You're like, you shrug your shoulders and act like we're crazy for even asking the question. That's what you do. That's really annoying. Yeah,
it's like you can absolutely date whomever you want. He is technically an adult now. Mm-hmm. And so you like as much as we think it's weird, you have every right to do that, but to try to gaslight me into thinking that this isn't somewhat awkward, like, is weird, or like that might pretend like Michael Jordan. You're pretending as if you're just dating this person and you had like you've never met his family. Like, you're starting a completely new life and it's weird. Like, stop doing that.
Yeah. Because then she's like, we don't talk about anyone else's moms and dads. And Andy is like, I can't let you have that one. I'm sorry. Not everyone's parents are Michael Jordan. And that's like, it's just different. And Larsa's like, it's all we talk about, God. And he's like, it's all I want to talk about. Let me be clear. Like, I would talk about this the entire time we're here.
Yeah, it's the most interest. You should be, Larsa, this is what it's piqued my interest with you at all.
Yeah, so please, like, stop lying to our faces about how it's not weird. It's crazy.
And also, you would, if you didn't really want to talk about it, you wouldn't have like a whole damn podcast.
You have a podcast.
Like, you have a podcast about it, bitch.
Okay. Okay, topic about Julia calling Marysol the pot stirrer. Marysol answers Andy's prompt. It says something about how like Adriana did whatever. And Adriana, who is so fresh out of the doctor, I don't know what work she's had done. I can't tell if she got a nose job, but her face looks so different to me. I can't tell what it is exactly.
Do you think it's just pregnancy? Because I know that your face shifts.
Adriana.
Oh.
I would not ever say that about a pregnant woman. No.
I do not know what I heard.
No, Adriana.
You know what I heard? I heard doctor, and I...
Oh, that's
shit,
funny.
You scared the crap out of me. I know you live here.
Sean's like, I just walked in the door. Adriana goes, hold on. There is a cyberbully in this group. And there's this long pause. And Andy's like, okay. What is it? Like, he's like, can you just get to the fucking point? Yeah. Hi, Sean. Oh, look at little Penn, so excited. I forgot he can't hear me. You have headphones.
But you waved, so he got it.
I did wave. I did. You're right. I did wave. And Adriana pops up, and she goes, and guess who? And presents this letter from a fan. I would like to read this fucking letter. Okay. This is mortifying, actually. Like, I'm embarrassed right now. Hold on. Wait, what's happening? All photos. Okay. It is. The DM, the person is blurred out.
Okay.
Hey, Adriana, stop ignoring me, please. Marysol messaged me. Telling me how awful you are. I think I'll believe her because you don't reply back. And then she responds a while later, like 2 weeks later. Hi, sorry, I've been slammed with work. Just like, I would just have blocked this person, honestly. She says, the person goes, don't worry, Marysol is messaging tons of Bravo accounts trying to get us to hate you. I obvi don't believe her. If you ever need me to spill anything, let me know. So this thirsty account that was just trying to get your attention said this, and that's what you bring as your proof? No.
Yeah, it sounds like a fishing expedition.
It sounds like they just wanted to make sure that you knew that you could go to them with something. Like,
right. Like, yeah. And of course you're going to take the bait because they watch the show and they know who you are.
And honestly, it's just very hard to believe that Marysol was reaching out to accounts being like, so Adriana does whatever. It's just like, that's just not the method that would typically happen.
That's so messy too. It's like anybody that can, I would instantly get
the screenshots, boom, out everywhere. There's no
way.
She's not going to do that.
No way.
So like that also just really showed how toxic the fandom can get, where they're willing to like do shit like that. I had someone message me one time. It was during last Beverly Hills when Crystal had said that Sutton said the whole dark comment. And this person messaged me and was like, what would you do if you really knew what happened with Sutton and that comment? Would you say anything if it was told to you by Garcelle? And I really threw them off their game. And I said, I would hold on to it. And they were like, oh, well, but Garcelle told me. I'm like, yeah, if she told you something, you should keep it in confidence because then she'll never tell you anything again.
Yeah.
That person was just lying.
Of course.
That person was just fucking lying. But if I wasn't smart, I would have screenshot that. I would have said, tell me what they said. Tell me what Garcelle said. And I would have taken it and ran with it.
See, that's what I really respect about the way that you do this, the way you run your Bravo account, because people want so badly to be the first to like break things, and that's just not your way, which I love that. That's what to me that makes you more reliable, because it's like you wait, you hold, like you might have an opinion, but you always wait. It's not about being salacious or being the first, because it's about having your like finding out verified information and then giving your opinion on it, and that's it. And the misinformation, the need to just like do that is crazy.
Yeah, it's the whole blinds concept, like getting a blind, like it's all that is just anyone who wants to writing in and having an opinion on something, but being like, keep it anonymous. It's like, yeah, but what are you even saying? Marysol denies being the pot stirrer of the group, and Adriana keeps interrupting. Alexia tries to get in there, and Adriana goes, oh, we'll get to you, Barbie. Adriana had to know that she was going to get so much shit this reunion. Like, you were relentless, Adriana. Like, it was great, but you were fucking relentless.
Yes.
Like, you're going to get in trouble. You have to know that. Julia's like, but honestly, this all started when Marysol said she didn't trust Nicole. And also when Larsa said she heard that she was making out with a man, she said Marysol, she didn't clear Marysol's name. But then Larsa's like, well, no, it wasn't Marysol. And so then Andy's like, how about this? Who here believes that Marysol would stir the pot and get a private eye and all that? And like basically all of them raised their hand except for Alexia. They're like, yeah, that sounds like something Marysol would do. Her answer to get out of it, too, isn't even that good. She's like, wouldn't I come up with better stuff on you guys if I had a private eye? I'm like, what? Well, I think you did. that. Julia is the new pot stirrer. That's this little segment. Nicole explains it perfectly. Nicole goes, so Julia is the canary, and she'll repeat whatever she's told, which maybe she shouldn't. But Marysol takes something without any truth behind it and runs with it. And Alexia attacks and says, or she could do it like you and have other people come on and say it, Anna. But then Alexia goes, but this is about you and Marysol right now. It's like, no, it's not, Alexia. You can't handle it. Speaking of Alexia, they go to her package, and the main topic is why did Todd not attend the Nuevos Horizontes party? And Alexia starts explaining how the last time everyone was at the house, which was the attorney lunch, it was a mess. And then Adriana starts interrupting and going, doing our job. That's the job, doing our job. And Alexia goes, well, it's not part of the job being a bitch like you are.
Damn.
It's like, that's why, like, Alexia and I might have our own beef personally, but I still respect her as a housewife.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I got a text from my friend who was like, I know, don't hate me, but I think I like Alexia. I was like, no, I get it. It's fair. Alexia brings up the things that Adriana had said after the reunion in the press, like Alexia making transphobic comments. And I'm like, okay, but I think you did. I can't remember, but I remember there were like things that she had said in this season that were like being dissected. Like she was a fucking mess last season, Alexia.
Oh, see, I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
I just know I know what she did to to Julia this season. Like, so it's not far fetched to me that she could make comments like that because I feel like she has, she has that way of thinking.
She's the one who was like, and you're Russian, they're good prostitutes. Like, what? Like she thought it was a compliment. That's a compliment. I'm so sorry. No, it's not. And then like continue to double down. So like you did make those problematic statements, Alexia. But Alexia throws it out there that she's one of the only ones who speaks the truth. And this like really offends Larsa, but she will get to that later. Like that little line, she's not going to let that go. Alexia's obviously mad about the insane things Adriana said on the show about her because it was wild. But Nicole says that Alexia has a double standard where everyone has to behave a certain way towards her when she won't respect that for others. For example, she won't talk about her family.
Right.
Like her fucking ex-husband who was recently incarcerated for sexual whatever with a minor.
Jesus, that's crazy.
Like when I read that police report, I was like, this can't be right. That was one of my only times too where I like looked up something on my own and found a police report and like read a report and like I couldn't believe what I was reading. So I think I had to send it to someone else. Like, am I dumb or is this what I'm reading?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they were under 14 too.
Stop. That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah. And Alexia will come for people's families and shit. So I was like, girl.
Like, how old is that? Like, I mean, it doesn't matter, but like, how old?
He was on the show this season, I thought. Didn't Peter and Frankie get like lunch with him or something?
I don't remember that.
Yeah. He's, in his 50s. I mean, he's like Alexia's age.
How is he out?
I don't know.
How is he not in jail?
I mean, I don't know how to have access. If someone else knows how to do that, cool. I don't know how to like access the full case or whatever. So I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Sentences are weird. Like sometimes just sentences don't make any fucking sense, especially when it comes to underage, minor, like especially when it comes to that kind of shit.
Interesting.
Yeah. Viewer question about Todd and Alexia's finances. Alexia's like, I know all about his finances. I brought the lease. I actually was impressed by that. I actually was like, okay, she's willing to show like we were paying every single month. Here was the 2-year lease that was then like whatever. I was like, you did need to do that actually. Like them acting like she shouldn't. I was like, no, I would like.
Well, no, because that was the whole reason you brought Anna on to like. So yeah, no, yes, she should. You're just mad because her receipts receded. Like
Yeah. Nicole and Lisa run to the bathroom in the middle of Alexia explaining it. So she's like, these are fucking rude bitches. I'll wait.
Okay. Because Alexia, the way she says things too is really funny. Like,
I know.
It's good. I enjoy it a lot.
I know. Because like that Cuban accent.
It's so like, I love how she's like, I'm sorry. It just makes me like, because it's such good timing, comedic timing.
These bitches are rude. I'll wait. Like it's just she's a star.
She is a star.
She is a star. Adriana reads that hubris poem. It's so fucking long.
It was well written though, but it was long.
Written. It's a good poem, but it was so long. And also, but why? Like Adriana, you're always demanding these moments.
She's just like, it's so interesting. I wish I had the confidence that Adriana has because she just she's shameless. She does not care. She loves it. Like she gimmicks, her props, everything.
She's like the weird theater kid who's still like shamelessly the weird theater kid.
Yes.
She's like, yeah, I do weird stuff. I don't care. Everyone thinks I'm weird. I don't care.
Yes.
That's Adriana in a nutshell. Larsa's obviously been stewing on this, like I said. So she's like, okay, back to you saying that you're the only one who speaks the truth, Alexia. Larsa, of course, thinks that she never lies. And Alexia brings up Guerdy's cancer situation and how, she's like, she never told me not to say anything. And we're like, it's on camera. But Larsa's like, the real lie is that Todd didn't miss the party because of Adriana. Adriana's like, that's right. That is the real lie. I love it. That's the real lie. That's right. Larsa's like, I would have canceled the party. And Alexia goes, that's what you would have done and lied because you're a liar.
She just like honestly like, and the thing is the way it's not only funny in the moment, it's like a later like ripple, like a ripple of funny later, because I'll just like still ruminate on it and then still laugh at it like 10 minutes later.
Because that's what you would have done and lied. And actually, that's so true. She would have done that and lied.
And it's so quick too.
Yes.
It's quick.
So quick. Yeah. But so they go back and forth a lot. So Julia and Kiki start kissing, and finally Andy calms everyone down and he's like, "Why are you two kissing?" If I can do this, it's funny. Marysol goes, "That's hot." I would say, Marysol,
like, I need a whole segment on Julia's kissing bandit ways. Like, why is that her theme this season? Kissing.
Totally.
They need to bring Martina on because I need some more.
Exactly. Martina's like, we have an open relationship. I feel like that's what she's basically saying.
Yeah, because
she's like,
Julia is a kissing bandit.
Yeah, kissing everybody. So Guerdy picks up where she had left off. Remember, she kind of stumbled when she first attempted this, but she comes back to it and brings up Larsa. How you call and you threaten, you hold us hostage if we don't go along with what you say. And then I love Guerdy going, "Nicole, tell her." Taps her in. Like, you better be fucking ready. You know that they discuss it. Like, I'm going to tap you in because I'm going to need backup. Yeah. So Nicole tells the story. This story is awesome, by the way. The story how Lisa and Larsa were fighting a ton at Alexia's filmed wedding. It was filmed. Alexia apparently told them, I'm assuming Nicole and Guerdy the story of how Larsa called her after the wedding saying, "If you don't have my back and shit goes down with Lisa, I'm going to call the press and I have all these connections." And Larsa's like, "Alexia, please tell the truth." And Alexia's like, "Well, you called me and you were like, there were a lot of things going on at your wedding. Turns out drugs. They were talking about drugs." And fucking Lisa's like, "Who doesn't in Miami?" Which is so perfect considering what Andy's dealing with right now.
Oh, yeah.
Andy's like, let's see, your take on the Andy thing, the Leah thing, is that it's all legit, right?
The thing is, because now Andy is saying that that was before Andy has demanded that Leah retract it. Because I was thinking it was legit, but like also who cares? Like, yeah. But because I know Andy likes to party, so
Andy
I wasn't
parties. They party after, like maybe he's done a bump or two in a bathroom with a housewife, Luann.
Yeah, I just didn't think it was like far fetched. I just more so thought that they were only bringing it up because it benefited them. Like, and they're not mad about anything. They're just. I was like, Andy, damn, you should tighten up. You can't be letting everybody in on your partying ways. But he's claiming that that's just flat out lie. I believe him because it's like, I mean,
well, because I think that for a lot of people have never done coke. That's the one thing. So a lot of people view coke as like this really scary thing. There's that. Right. The other thing is, if you've worked either in production or like us, restaurants, it's unfortunately very common that you party with people who are your superiors and you maybe do things you shouldn't do from an HR standpoint.
Right. That was my only thing. I was like, damn, Andy, you like got yourself caught up. Like, I was like, you can't be partying with everybody because
I knew immediately that it was Bethany talking to Leah because, Bethany's been around for a minute. Yeah. And I knew immediately that it was Bethany telling Leah just rumors she had heard. And also the claim that if they do the drugs, if they do the coke with Andy, then they'll get a good edit. Who is getting a good edit and would also be doing a ton of coke with Andy?
See, I didn't believe I never believed what she was trying to say, like he like retaliation, any of that. I knew all that was BS. I just thought that it was possible that he does party with the housewives in that way, the ones that he likes, the cherry picked ones. But like, I in no way thought he would ever be malicious or like force anybody to party. Like, no, I never would or could buy that. But I also very much saw through what Brandy is doing and what I literally had a whole ass argument with somebody about how I was like, because they like it was somebody from work, him, and he doesn't know who Brandy is. And I was like, listen.
Oh, well, listen, if you don't know who Brandy is.
I know. And I was like, listen, Brandy is only saying these things because she literally is accusing him of what she is being accused of.
Yeah, so she's like, see, I'm not the only one.
Right. I was like, it's like all of a sudden. So I was like.
I'm actually, on that, about the Brandy thing. So I made some content about the Brandy thing and how I was like, look, I knew as soon as I saw the headline, I knew immediately what it was. Like Andy Cohen tells Brandy he wants to have sex with someone and think about her or whatever the headline was.
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds, because I know they've been friends for a while. So it's like, all that sounds like to me is that he probably called her like they do and had an inappropriate joking relationship.
Right.
And if we had known from the beginning that it was Kate Chastain he was talking about, we would have been like, oh, clearly he was kidding. Because when you read it, just have sex with whatever. I'm thinking, what man was he talking about? Like, what gay Bravo led was he saying? He was talking about Kate. You know he was kidding. Brandy?
Yeah, like, you're completely taking the whole conversation out of context. Like, my only thing is, it's like, again, Andy, like, this is what happens when you get too friendly with like, people like a Brandy who will, you just can't, you don't never know what's going to come out of her mouth. She just, like, you can't control her. So I was like, you got to pick and choose who you're going to blur those lines with. And I was like, I guess from like you said, from an HR standpoint, he's technically the boss. And it's like, and
like, is he technically really crossing boundaries? Totally.
Sure, but it's that's like, also, come on.
Those are long gone. They've been working together for over a decade. He's got, like, think about.
And then she did put off her response back to him too.
Oh, exactly. Think about, you've been at Soho for so many years. Think about all the managers that have come through there. There's so many blurred lines like that for sure that become a problem when they become a problem. Like, there's no denying that, like, technically, yes, not the best move. Right. He also has, it's trash that he ever wanted to be friends with Brandy. And Eric, like, he picks pretty trash people among the Bravo stars to be friends with. Like, he likes Michael Rappaport, for Christ's sake.
I cannot stand that man.
I can't stand that man at Soho House. Was like my nemesis too.
Oh, really?
Because he would come in, he was a daytime regular, and he would start talking all loud and like swearing and cussing, and I would have to go, Michael, please, people are complaining. And, okay. And then like throughout the whole day, I'd have to do that. Nightmare.
I mean, that sounds like something, like, I mean, I'm not shocked by that at all. I'm not shocked at it. Like, he seems like that.
Like, that kind of person who's so loud that they know they're encroaching on your peace.
And they love it.
They love it.
Ugh.
Can't stand him.
No, yeah, he does have some interesting, and it's, and again, that's why I say he needs to tighten up, because it's, Bethany was one of his, like, look at all.
He picks the people. He picks the wrong people.
And that's why I was like, honestly, this is a learning lesson for him of, like, stop picking these people to be, like, because, like, yes, like, I don't think that what you did was wrong, but technicalities are technicalities, like, you know what I mean?
I also think that a lot of the shit Bethany's pulling up is from, like, the beginning of Roni or something. It's like, he now has 2 children.
Yeah, like, I doubt he's out there, like, doing lines.
He doesn't have time. And, like, cocaine isn't important enough to Andy that he'd be, like, testing people. Like, I do so much coke, you better do it too. Do it, and if you don't do it, I'm going to retaliate. Like, that's not. He has to do Watch What Happens Live. He has to do a million reunions. He has 2 children. This man is not out there doing that.
I need everybody who's signed up for the Bethany, like, revenge thing to unsubscribe, because she's leading them down a really messy path in the sense of, like, all of these things that she's having her lawyers, like, because I know, like, Rachel's has Bethany's lawyer, Leah has Bethany's lawyer, like, they cannot back up any of these claims, and isn't that not slander? I feel like everybody can get countersued for, like, everything that's happening.
I want Ariana to countersue fucking Rachel.
That's what I said. I've literally made so many videos on this. I was like, she needs to countersue, because I feel like technically Rachel has opened up the door by claiming that Ariana has given her emotional distress.
I'm like, you said emotional. You want to talk about emotional distress?
Yes. I honestly want so bad for, like, when they go to court, if they make it to that, a judge to listen to that. And I literally have said this. I was like, I want someone like a Judge Judy, where like when she hears ridiculous shit like that, just like ream them out for wasting the court's time. Because it is. You're wasting. Nick Viall actually says this on his podcast. Like Rachel is now notoriously abusing the court system for like revenge. She did it with Sheena, and now she's doing it like with like Ariana, and it's dangerous what you're doing. You're literally abusing the legal system for your own agenda.
That filing really fucking infuriated me. The more I read through it, I was I had someone read it to me online. I read someone read it through, and I was like, really, that's in there. And the fact that most of that revenge stuff is not even at Tom, it's more so towards Ariana, is crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we can't go back down this road because we have to
finish. Yeah, shoot.
Shit. Sorry, guys. Okay, they go on break. Marcus is like, I'm going crazy back here watching. The way Larsa's like, oh yeah? Like she looked into that. She like liked that. She
loved it. She's was
like,
eating it up.
Are you? Yeah, tell me more. But then Alexia comes into Larsa's room like all is good. Like nothing just happened at all. And she's like, you should keep the cape off. The dress is beautiful. And Larsa just goes, thank you. Like Kylie Jenner, thank you. But then it kicks off between them. And then we see Andy on his IG story being like, can you hear that? So they're fighting. And then Alexia, her line is really funny. I'm more open than anybody on this cast. That is not true. That's not true. That's okay though. Lisa divorce update. She claims he is suing her for forks and pillows, but then he filed a lot. And honestly, the money that these people spend on shit, he's claiming that she removed furnishings, artwork, and other items valued in excess of $200,000. Honestly, I feel like their forks are worth $200,000. Like everything they own is expensive. So yeah. I'm like, shut up, dude. That is so petty. What is she supposed to leave with? I guess she could just buy more shit.
I mean, I feel like isn't it kind of hard at that point because you were together. So it's like, how who's to say who owns what, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think, isn't that, I don't know, unless, was he literally awarded in the, like, I get the forks? And she just took them anyway.
I get the forks.
I know people. I guess people do that. Yeah, no,
people do that. If it's an asset that's actually like worth it, totally.
Like I get the forks.
Yeah, because they're like $1 million.
We signed off on that, and then you took said forks. Is that what's happening?
And you took said forks. I don't know. That's so funny. And you took said forks. Andy's like, why do the police keep getting called? The story is crazy. Her mom and aunt were in the house, staying in the house, and he decided to still bring the girlfriend over, and she was parading around in lingerie, and her aunt took a picture of the girlfriend. That you're just asking for trouble. Took a picture, sent it to Lisa. Lisa then sends it to Lenny and is like, what the fuck? And so boom, cops are called.
And so now, okay. This is the last time I'm going to mention VPR because this is not that podcast. But I feel like that would be distribution.
Yes, that's distribution. That's revenge porn.
You unlawfully took that, then sent it, and then that got sent again. I actually think that is the textbook definition of distribution, and she's not even getting sued for that shit.
Exactly. Or maybe that's why the cops were called. Lisa is staying with Jody in the house that he pays half the rent for. I believe that's the same place, while they wait for Lenny to build the house. I'm like, girl, I don't care if there's a court order. He is not building you that house for a long time.
Yeah, he's going to like delay.
He's going to look and see when is the latest I can possibly do it. She already knows it's going to take years. I'm like, it's going to take years before it even starts. And the house will be in the kids' names. I find that to be
So when
scary.
they're 18, that's when you're going to get that house.
I feel like she should not rely on that at all.
She's like, everyone just keeps trying to tell her that. And she just does not want to hear it.
Like, he's going to build the house for his kid. I just don't trust it.
I mean, he probably has the right to, because he seems very smart. Like, he probably knows, like,
exactly.
I have to give it to you at some point, and I'll give it to you right before the last kid turns a week before the last kid turns 18, because then it becomes their house. So you will live in that house for 1 week exactly.
And then she's like, and I can't get married and live there too. I'm like, yeah, but I can't get over the fact that it's going to be under the kids' names and not Lisa's. That's like, there's something to that.
She signed a bad contract because this isn't not adding up. She should have just took some like quick money and then gone and built her own house.
Her own house. Something like that.
Seems like that's what she should have did.
I agree.
And then also be able to go marry people she wants to marry. Like, that's crazy. Like, damn.
Like, you were so insistent that he give you something. Like, he give you something lavish and extraordinary.
And you're never going to get it.
You're never going to get it.
That's crazy.
Okay, with the ladies asking Lisa about her finances and Jody and all that stuff, Guerdy's like, look, when I watched it, it did look like an ambush. That was not the intention. And Alexia and Julia and basically everyone are like, we were coming from a good place. Lisa isn't hearing it, of course. And Guerdy goes, but you're so wrapped up, and which of course makes Lisa like go into a whole moment that she's fighting for her life. I'm fighting for my life. Alexia then goes, so is she. And it's this really ugly back and forth, honestly, because as much as they keep coming at Lisa wrong, they keep not like, now Lisa can cry and be like, don't diminish what I was fighting about. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of fair. Like, she can say that. But really what you're saying is like, put your shit in perspective.
Yeah.
And like, she's like, I was fighting about my kids. It's like, no, you were fighting honestly about getting more and more money.
Yeah. I don't actually feel like the kids were mentioned that much.
Yeah. Like, he's not fighting you. I don't think he's fighting her for like full custody or anything, but maybe I missed that.
And that's actually the point Julia was trying to make poorly, was the fact that there are kids involved in here. And it seems like that keeps getting glazed over. Like, we see her snapping at the kids.
Yes.
Then we see that she apparently had this big dramatic blow up, and then she leaves the kids.
Yes.
Like, because that's like something that they witness, and it's like you want to check in to make sure they're good. That seems like a lot.
Just stay home with them. Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it does feel like the kids keep getting glazed over in the situation, and it does seem like all I hear is money, 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 money,
all
money.
I hear is money.
I don't want to drive a Honda.
Exactly. I love Guerdy just going, you're insufferable the whole season. I could watch that in a loop forever. Like, I want all of them to say, you were insufferable, bitch.
Yeah.
Lisa just doesn't understand her privilege. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
No perspective whatsoever.
Yeah, because it's like, man, just take whatever you can get at this point, because I still think it's going to be a lot more than anybody else will ever see in their life.
Yes, thank you. Nicole points out Lisa being insensitive throughout the season, though. She's like, it wasn't just you maybe like fighting for your stuff. You also like blatantly were like, I can't find my lip gloss after we got Guerdy off the thing. The lip gloss thing actually ended up being good for Guerdy too. So fine, Lisa, you can have that one. But in general, you really don't seem aware. Okay? Okay, Anna coming to the Mother's Day brunch. Marysol leads off. She has to fight Alexia for it because Alexia was busting out paperwork. Like, I have proof that this was all about Marysol, I think, is what she was going to prove. So Marysol's like, Adriana knows that Mother's Day is especially hard for me because my mom died on Mother's Day. But Adriana's already interrupting. And I swear if this woman repeated, it wasn't the actual day. It wasn't the actual day. But it wasn't the actual day. She kept doing it. I was right there with Andy. He's like, we heard you the first fucking 20 times you said it.
And it's like, girl, no one, like, it's a symbolization of the day. Like,
and also, isn't it like a certain Sunday of a month? It's not like a date.
Yeah.
I
think so.
Yeah. So like Mother's Day is always a Sunday. And I think it's like the first weekend of May. I don't remember what it is, but it's like,
yeah.
So
just like Thanksgiving, it's always like
it's like the third Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's it wasn't the actual day. It wasn't the actual day. Over and over.
Yeah, like over again. It's about what that day, all of that. God, I'm not gonna repeat it because it's not something that needs to be explained.
Like, girl, she could be like an insane person. Andy's like, shut up.
It's it's insane.
Yes,
like, she's an interesting person.
Yes,
that's all I'll say.
Yes. Marysol's crying and talking, and Adriana's just rolling her eyes. Viewer question. Now, look, I was writing with Nicole on this. The viewer question was, Nicole, you're not so innocent in this with the whole Anna thing. Nicole explains, and I was like, okay, maybe. She explains that Anna hosted a fundraiser, told Nicole, I'm now good with the group, brought all the RHOM girls back together. I'm good with the group. But Alexia is like, okay, but after that, at the reunion last year, you said, I won't repeat what Anna told me because I don't repeat gossip. And that's what I was remembering too. So it's like, you knew it wasn't good.
Yeah.
You said they contacted you, and then you said, I'm not going to repeat things I don't know about or whatever. So it kind of so you did know something wasn't great.
Right.
Something wasn't wonderful about it.
Yeah, I think that she needs to
take a
admit
tiny bit about that. Exactly.
I don't.
We still don't think that she was like what Adriana was doing.
I don't think she was aware that was what Anna's intentions were.
Yeah.
I think that she likes Anna. Mm-hmm. She knows that there's a little tension, but she's like, I'm like, I don't think she was ever going to invite her. I don't think she thought of inviting her, but then when what's her name, Adriana, brings it up, she's like, I like her. I don't have a problem with her. Like, they're around people they don't like all the time. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that's what she really just needed to say. Like, I know you guys. To say.
Yeah,
all she but yeah, stop feigning like you don't know anything.
Yeah, like she told me you guys were perfect.
Yeah.
That if you got to take just a tiny bit of like, I did know there was drama, because the other argument, like, I'm sure she was so thrown off, but when she saw their reaction, she could have said, no, you guys stay. I'll tell Anna she can't come.
Right.
Which, it's hard to do that when they're like yelling at her. Like, I get why she was like thrown, like almost without words, because it was just so confusing to her.
Yeah, because again, I that's how I know she definitely didn't concoct this with Adriana, because I think she was really thrown, and then she got defensive, and I think she doubled down. I think she just doesn't want to admit that she just doubled down.
Yeah, exactly.
And exactly that's all we want.
That's all we want.
A little bit. It's like, it's okay. You're a person. You're human.
Yeah, you have every reason to be shady with them.
Yeah.
Alexia pops off a bit, and then Nicole busts out you've got such a boner for me. Smack one out, girlfriend. I swear, this sounds like something that Anthony said, like
to her,
and it only would sound maybe good coming out of his mouth. It didn't read right on her. Smack one out, girlfriend. I'm like, that's not what I don't know. That just, the terminology wasn't quite right.
That's definitely something that she's repeated, and it was not her original content or Rogue.
Yeah, right? I'm like, that was an Anthony line. Like, she's got a boner. That's like a straight guy thing to say. She's got a boner for you. Tell her to go smack one out in the bathroom.
Yeah, and it's only funny because he's made the observation. You can't then make the observation about yourself, because then it just sounds like you're like really feeling yourself a little bit. Like,
yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It was weird. Nicole brings up how she wasn't invited to an event because of this whole Anna debacle. But she busts out this proof, this whole video of how she was like, we were hanging out, Marysol, after the Mamacita brunch and filming wrap. We were like hanging out. So what the fuck?
Yeah.
Marysol has no answer for that. Adriana finally steps in, and is like, she did not know. She took a lot of heat, and then she presents her with a fucking rose, always with the props.
And it took a long time to get it out of the plastic.
That rose. It took way too long. It took like, and they purposely didn't like edit it either. They like let us know how long in real time Adriana needed to get that damn rose out.
I know, and Marysol cracked me up. She's like, I don't want to be on a show with her.
Same show as her. I'm embarrassed.
Because it was a long time.
Adriana apologizes to Alexia though. Andy's like, whoa, what? And then Marysol goes, where's my apology? Adriana starts to say something, and she just goes, I don't want to hear it. I don't know why.
Also, I do want to note that when Adriana was reading that really well-written poem, weird, cringy, but well-written if you really just look at the poem for what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And Marysol said, I don't know if it was either Alexia or Marysol, one of them pipes in the middle, and she's like, don't be rude. like
no, yeah, she goes, have some class.
Yeah, it was really funny. Like, all of them, how quick, like, the way they snap to me is just so perfect and funny.
Yeah, no, I think that's a testament to how much of a real friend group they are, with like a lot of history. Because it's that type of snapping that you can do and then just keep it moving.
Yes.
That you only can really get with familiarity. You know,
I like if you said that.
Is that the way to say it?
I don't know, but I liked how it came out.
Oh, okay. But no, it's true. Like, if you don't know someone that well and you snap like that, they'd be like, "Oh my God." But like, they just keep it moving.
Yeah, I think that's actually a perfect way to like it puts me at ease, because it is like bickering sisters.
It puts me at ease. Them snapping at each other.
Yeah, because it's like, it's fun. It's like, so like when Beverly Hills does it, because then none of them are friends, it feels so nasty.
Exactly.
But when they do it, it's like, they're just longtime friends and this is what they do. And everyone's going to be fine at the end of the damn day. Like,
perfect example is the Julia-Lisa feud.
Yes.
Where they bring up like how Lisa said that you have all these baby daddies or whatever, and it seems like maybe they're not going to have a resolution. But then they go on a break, and I swear because Julia walked in crying. I swear she like prepped before she went in. I swear Julia was like, "Let me look at more pictures of my son." Okay, the tears enter into the room, but then they made up. And I was like, see, now if this was Beverly Hills, this would never happen.
It would never. And like, she literally says, like, I'm mad at you, Lisa, but you have your legs.
Look great.
Your legs are, I'm not going to deny that.
Exactly.
I'm pissed, but legs.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Beverly Hills is a chore, as where Miami is a treat.
Oh my God. Put that on a fucking sweatshirt.
Okay.
Write it down. If only there was a recording so you could go back to it.
I'm actually just putting the timestamp down. Because I'm like, my handwriting is so bad anyway. Even if I tried to write that down, I'd be like, what was I saying? There's a whole package about Nicole's dad. I was like, God, why are they making her watch this? But then, anyway, they get back from Lisa and Julia making up. They get back to the thing. Why did they make Guerdy watch her entire cancer package? I almost felt like that was unnecessary. I mean, I really hope that they asked her, like, do you want us to play it? Should we not?
Yeah.
Instead of, like, intentionally triggering her to watch the most traumatic part of her life.
Man.
My God.
Yeah, they kind of, like, slapped us back to back with sadness.
For real. Like, I can't
Dad
even watch.
died, cancer. I was like, can we have broken that up? Like, can you give me a fucking minute? Like,
yeah. No shock to anybody. Larsa doubles down on everything she did with Guerdy, which is exactly what we said was going to happen. Like, we literally were like, she will double down.
Because she was doing it at BravoCon. Like, everybody's given her every opportunity to retract that shit.
Yes, she won't do it. The last part of it is Guerdy going, I was going through the worst time of my life and you made it harder. And she goes, I did not make it harder on you, my love. How are you going to say that?
Like, you can't tell me what you, like, you're invalidating what I'm saying, my feelings. Like, I'm telling you, you did. You can't tell me.
Guerdy goes, I have the right to tell you that you hurt me. You hurt me too. Okay.
Are we in the same conversation, Larsa?
Are we kidding? It's another level.
It is.
It's another level. Okay, we're done. We did it. 3 hours, Pia. I don't know the last time we recorded this long.
I don't know, but I enjoyed it.
No, it like flew by. Like, I kept looking at the time. Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, the only thing I did not enjoy was now I don't have time to watch Traitors, but that's okay. That's my burden.
Ooh. Are you Ubering to work?
No, I'm driving.
Oh, and then I was going to say you can watch it. But
I know. It's okay. I'm going to save it for tomorrow.
Oh, I just want you to watch it so bad because I have thoughts.
Damn it.
I
don't have time.
I know. Anyway, well, Pia, thanks for hanging out for this whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to watch it. Yeah, you need to watch it as soon as possible. I say you watch it in the car, on the way to work, at work, and then when you get home. I feel like I want to know what your thoughts are very badly.
Oh, shit.
On the ending, on the finale, the very last part.
Oh my God. Damn, you are really, why are you doing this to me? Like, I know, I'm about to call out. I've done that before. I have. Because I wanted to watch something. I've done it.
You're like, this is getting in my TV viewing schedule, in the way of my TV viewing schedule. So please.
Absolutely.
I can't commit.
I've definitely done that before.
You're like, I have a migraine. Can't commit.
I do say. Killer migraine.
Killer migraine. I can't even open my eyes.
Those things come up anytime. So that's always like the best thing. And I do have, like, I could like bring up medical records.
Exactly.
I do have.
When you have that history, you're like, what are you going to say? You can't argue that.
Yeah. Like, I fainted at work before.
From a migraine?
Yes.
Fainted.
Lalo caught me.
What happens? I've always wondered what it's like to faint.
It was crazy because you don't know what's happening, but other people apparently do because Lalo saw it happening before I saw it, the blackout.
Or knew it was happening.
Yeah, this was years ago.
So
you might have even been working.
Oh, I might have been there. Crazy. Were you?
I don't know. I know
you just
Moot
like
was.
stand? Oh, that was great. I bet. Were you like standing and then it got dark or?
Yeah, it was just one of those things where like, yeah, the halo, and then it wasn't very it was like quick. Like he caught me and like it kind of jarred me up. Like it was just like, and like when it's bad like that, because I can feel like it happened. Like I can prevent myself from getting to that point because I start feeling like. Yeah. It almost feels like you're
vertigo,
like you've been drugged. Yeah, it almost feels like you're losing. Like you could just feel like your body's shutting down. And my migraines get so bad, where like especially because my migraines are really really triggered by extreme heat. So like in the summertime, especially, I was having.
Oh, I got it work too. Oh, because it's so hot.
Yeah, and it was like in that back area, like where towards the kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was summer at that point. That's an oven back there.
It's an oven.
And Bochek also gets migraines as well. So he migraines are no. I have one of those things I got on Amazon. You put it. It's a mask. Like it goes over your entire face. Like it almost looks like a ski mask, and it like stops about here. And you put it in the freezer. And
I think I want that because when I was on the staycation, not my first, so I got there on I got there like at night because you have to check in at night or whatever. And then the next day, I didn't have any caffeine and I always have caffeine. And so I didn't realize that until about like noon, I started to get a migraine. And I was like, oh shit, it's from not having enough caffeine. So I think I had my sister pick up some caffeine on her way in, but I also didn't have any medication. I had no Advil, nothing. I had nothing like that either. And so I didn't catch it in time with the caffeine. And I'm talking my whole world shut down. I was also out in the sun too. So I just I was drinking a ton of water, but it's like sometimes it's just too much. My entire head from here up to the top, it felt like it was swollen.
Yeah.
And like I was trying to do the migraine pressure point massages, but it almost hurt just to even touch my head.
Yeah.
And the thought of a cool mask going over my whole head.
It was happening.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah,
can you send me what you bought on Amazon?
Yeah, no, I'll send you the link to it. Yeah, no, like honestly, it was game changer because again, summer is just awful for me. Like I get them like almost daily. It was like I remember I was at the movies with Sean and I was like help me, because I was starting to black out. I was like walking because of the parking structure at the AMC in the Burbank. The parking structure was so hot. I literally started. I was like, catch me. I was like, help me.
God, I so relate. I can. My head's like kind of starting to hurt, just like getting like sympathy pains, remembering like just how bad it is.
Yeah,
that sucks.
I carry Excedrin migraine on me always, just in case, because it's like
because
you never want
one
to
of those. Boom. So that has caffeine in it too.
Yeah.
FYI,
in
case you didn't know, they're also very good for hangovers.
Yes.
If you have to work.
I got my Excedrin migraine.
If you got to work and you are hungover, an Excedrin migraine will help a little, not a lot, because let's face it, if you're as hungover as I used to get, nothing's helping. But if you really
a little hair of the dog,
but then I was going to say, then you just put a little, then very professional, very professional. Anyway, guys, don't forget, you got to follow Pia on all the TikTok and on Instagrams, Pia JV, or as long as we have TikTok until the government shuts it down.
I know, it's like so dramatic. I feel like this happens every 6 months, though.
I agree. I feel like they go through, like the TikTok goes through, like the please sign this thing. I'm like, they're not going to shut it down. And if they do, okay.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
All right, fine. Anyway, guys, love you. Mean it. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. That was my best buy.
That was your best buy.
That was my
a
best
great
buy. Felt it.
Yeah, that was such a good. Thanks for tuning in to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This show is produced, hosted, and edited by me, Emily, and brought to you in partnership with Cloud 10 Media. If you are looking for bonus content, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. To show some support, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Another free way to support the pod, please rate and or review on whatever platform you listen. It's free and it helps the algorithm or something. You could also head to buymeacoffee.com/shespeaks and buy me a coffee or two. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. I am She's Speaking with Emily Hanks across all platforms: Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's it. Thank you guys. See you soon.